That was lame.
Is this my fate?
Every extra level in the poison attack, EDZ as well is also level 3, so that is a great move from them. And this is kind of what we saw in, I believe we had day 1 and our first game as well with the Viper. As soon as he got that level 3, was able to get aggressive instant.
Yeah, and it's not just that. We talked about Vision just before. They've got this Observer Ward on the high ground that we saw BDZ place next to all of these Radiant heroes at the very start of the game. He saw that Zhao was making the rotation through up to the top. Did he end up taking that bounty rune, or was he just checking for stacks? But he wasn't in the lane, so that enabled them to rotate through, get the stun in onto Natsumi when he was already low because of the Viper, and secure themselves a return kill.
Neon are often a team that like to...
Here we go, mid lane.
Yep. Move. Yo, wait. Not going to tick out. 7 sticky napalm stacks. He's okay. Down bottom as well. We see the Viper getting dived under the tower. So Neon able to use that awareness with the Earth Spirit rotating mid to find the kill on Nico. But again, does cost them Yopaj.
And I like the time that he rotated as well. Normally you would think, okay, I'm going to rotate around the 4-minute mark, the 6-minute mark, secure all these runes. He went at 5 minutes, right as it turned into nighttime. So he wanted to make sure that he wasn't being scouted out until it was too late. Really getting dived.
They've got BDZ here as well. Well, just a bit shy. All he needs is the kick to help out. Ira did commit forward with the dive. Where's the TP? I think it actually got cancelled, so CTM. Yes, he'll get the kill, but he's going to even fall as well.
I think he had the net on the little troll that he'd got.
See, early on, 7 kills, 6 minutes in. Something to highlight is the fact that Neon, there are no stacks at the moment around the Ancient. So this is something that CTM been prioritizing heavily. They like giving Enryu a kind of self-sufficient offlaner. You know, Tim Bob we've seen a couple times where he can then prioritize making these stacks, but there's none at the moment. And this is where a Batrider mid really thrives on taking Ancient stacks. So a bit of a worrying sign. Dump bot though, Nico. On here, there's some backup, and with the Treads bonus health, he's going to be okay.
He is going to secure these last 2 hits. I mean, we were talking before, he is got those stacks built up onto him.
The water, no, Natsumi. That is so greedy. Oh no. Again, every extra level in the poison attack, such a strong spy.
Now you've even got that Viper Strike. Pierces spell immunity, so you're going to be able to chase people down, perhaps force out TPs.
Nivea Men Cool Kick.
Is going to secure these last 2 hits. I mean, we were talking before about he is got those stacks built up onto him.
Is the water not Natsumi?
Nope.
That
Wind, show me where to go. Your fault.
the fact that he is going for the Dragonlance though over something like a Force Staff, because I feel like you take a look, if you force out of Supernova to reset, out of the Viper slows, the Razor Static Link, away from the Earth Spirit roll, like Force Staff just looks so valuable this game.
Well, that ward that he just placed was not valuable because you know that that small camp has been blocked for quite a while, and he just put an Observer ward right next to it. So easy money, easy gold coming through to BDZ there. I don't find the Dragonlance, right? Because A, it enables you to be, a bit more of that tanky threat. The extra 10 strength is always nice. And it also means that you've got an easier way to deal with the Supernova, and eventually you can still build into the Hurricane fight. So I think it's totally fine.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Lucy,
attack.
how's Palace going on the Spectre? It's close to the Echo Saber. He's going to TP back. We're looking for a Haunt play to get out of the map here. Unfortunately, he's shy of the gold for the Rover Magi, so just a little bit off there on that timing. Would have been perfect. He had the Echo, TP back, and Haunt the joint, but in like he's still just going to fall back, arm up the jungle. They haven't made any real aggressive plays here for Neon. Is there anything we're kind of waiting for them?
Group up all together and just go as this big ball of a team and force the enemy team to respond to it. So I think they're just waiting for a few of these key timings. Maybe Enryu picking up his BKB because he is incredibly farmed. He's already got his Midas. He's a good 1,500 gold ahead of any Dire hero. It's not going to be too far until he does pick up that BKB. Coincide with the Dragonlance as well on CTM.
Thank you so much.
There was a mechanism also completed for Nico, so he's going for a bit more of the utility route on the Viper. We'll see how much that mechanism is going to play into these team fights here as mid lane. Podge a little bit of antsy with the haste. Again,
Dire's top tower
you got a lack
is
of
under
stuns.
attack.
It's so hard to punish the Batrider being up in your face. They do smoke
I think it
on
was
Dire.
It was popping anyway, right? He picked it up 2 minutes ago, so he's got a regen now. His disposal. Got all of their ultimates now available on EXECRATION. You can see Spectre farming away at the other side of the map, picking up the Echo Saber, so they're ready for a TP fight to break out.
Oh, and Ryu is going to try and jump back towards the tower. It's not going to be able to make it to safety. The Horde down. There were no extra rotations, so Neon just going to try and cut their losses. They even
Radiant's
dropped
bottom tower is under attack.
Supernova, trying to get that little extra damage instance to kill off the Rubik.
Has
A
been
lot of
killed.
ultimates used. They will find Enryu. That is a massive Titus as well.
Dire's
You
top
hate to
tower
see it.
is under attack.
Coming through from the Doom. Even Devour's on cooldown as well, so that pick off. They're going to tip it down, actually. Neon recognizing both is on cooldown. They drop the lasso. They're on top of the Create Wave Howard, so the Omni Slash not going to come into play with the TP out. Howard is going to be able to make it. No! He'll just fall. They trade the kill on CTM, so it's a 1-for-1, but Neon are happy with that. They defend their T1 tower, and you get a big kill from Palos Spectre.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they made the rotation when the Ogrerak still hadn't made its way out to CTM. His positioning was a little odd, you know, again, you're an Enchantress, but he's gone full glass cannon. Level 8 doesn't even have a point in the untouchable. He realizes that, well, they're probably going to be able to kill me anyway, just because they've got the Razor, they've got the Nether Toxin available on the Viper. So he needs to be really on point with his positioning this game. He's the captain, he's the shot caller. See if he's able to bring it home.
See what Radiant want to do as well, because they did show a lot of TPs down bot to protect that tower. Heroes nearby, but also the Dire. Drop the Omni Slash for the health of the mechanism first. It's not going to be enough to keep him alive, and able to do him out too. Chase down the Earth Spirit. No way he's going to swing on over. It's not going to be. Oh, let's deny. Beautiful play from them. They're still going to lose 2 heroes, and with Yopar showing up, he's going to haste once again. So much movement speed to be able to chase him down. They will purge that off. Is there any way to slow down your way? You see, same with Neon, lacking the stuns at the moment. Finds 1 kill. That deny coming out on the Earth Spirit. That is a lot of rotations
Radiant's
down bot.
middle tower is under attack.
It is, and you know, it's the style of play that Neon like to go for. None of these crappy little smokes. Let's just ball up together as a team. We realize that we have the strength at this stage of the game. 3k net worth lead, even though we're behind in kills. They've taken a bit more of the map control away as well. So Juggernaut, he's going to be able to continue farming at least until he picks up that Maelstrom. I don't feel like they're going to want to fight with it though. It's just that last hit.
Has fallen. Radiant are scanning.
The other factor of having that Dragon Lance on the Enchantress as well. Base attack range 575. Dragon Lance adds 140. My AU maths aren't wrong. That is 715. And just have a quick look over at the Spectre with the dispersion max radius for the damage being returned to you. It's 700. So obviously between attacks, you're going to be wanting to start a step backwards just for that little bit of extra impetus damage. But you're also going to be avoiding a ton of this damage coming back towards you.
Pause that stack finished his blink and almost K change in the bank as well towards the BKB.
Radiant's
Is in
middle
fighting
tower
shape
is
here
under
to try and
attack.
reveal Blink Dagger. However, Radiant,
Dire's
their
top
ultimates, they
tower
are still
is
on
under
cooldown,
attack.
so they're not really going to be able to
Radiant
answer
structures
call
are
to defend
fortified.
mid. In fact, they're just going to glyph it up.
Radiant's middle tower
See
is under attack.
how their defense starts to mount though. Dire have an incredible ward on the back line between this tier 1 mid and tier 2. Just the name of the game. You see,
Ooh, they stole it.
Dire's top
That's
tower
pretty
is
key,
under attack.
being able to take away that Nether Toxin against a Spectre.
Radiant's
It means that
middle
even though he's got
tower
this
has
haunt
fallen.
available, you can see he's level 12, but he was kind of considering it, but thinking
Radiant's
twice.
bottom tower is under
Dude.
attack.
like usually I'd say with this lineup they're going to suffer actually holding him in the next Nether Toxin. Is hold that thought, Eon. They're going to smoke up. They should know this smoke is happening because the sentry placed without seeing anyone. So Nico's in great spot to help with it. Blinking for Blaster Doom. Everything committed on top of the Bible. They're going to try and cancel him out of the fight. Static Link drained as well. Yoe is only got 28 damage here, so EXECRATION, they have to look to count their losses. To get back There's no stuns at the moment with the lifetime on cooldown. Natsumi, nice silence, but still the movement speed. Jug's moving so incredibly fast. Phase on cooldown at the moment. Another kick slowing them down. The sticky napalm is starting to stack up. How far do they want to push on forward? If he goes back alive in 10 seconds, it's back though. It's away for the team. Palos gonna get down with the mobility. He's gonna be able to make it back to safety. And then they're trying to chase it, but they can't keep up. They've gone too far. The trap has been sprung. As CTM battling it against the world, they'll drop the supernova to claim the kill as well. And while we do see Palos, he'll lose his life there. Januel to pick it up. So all in all, I mean, that's a 2 for 2 and not too much happening in regards to the net worth after that fight.
You're okay with it. You've got the Doom, right? You've got the Midas available. They had amount of value out of these sorts of rotations. It's just going to be a killer to the Razor.
He stole the plasma filter. Wow! What a play on the instant tip from Natsumi. And Yopaj as well. Oh, man. It's going to bring up just before that fight is that, take a look at Rubik's net worth. He is the, well, at least the third highest, so the second highest, I should say, out of all the supports. And this is a position 5, but it's just showing like the Nether Toxin is such an incredible ability to steal, even though it's only level 1.
Dire's middle tower.
You can clear
is
out
under
creep
attack.
waves, you can play like a tree protector role almost, so just playing the dead lane, shoving it out, getting any little farm you can get. And we'll see later on how this is going to come into play with those items, because honestly, taking a look at Neon, like, they've got some pretty good scaling heroes.
Yeah, they got great scaling on their heroes. Also, we were talking about, you know, the standard position for Rubik build, going the Aether Lens into the Blink Dagger. He's changing it up a little bit. He's gone the 4-staff instead. I like it. It's going to be great against the Viper. Great against, of course, getting out of that Magnetize, out of the Static Link. And that's being comboed together with the eventual Hurricane Pike that we were expecting on CTM. He's starting to build into that as well. So 2 4-staffs already. We've also seen one queued up by Yopaj. Makes total sense. He's going to get it after his BKB. So that's a huge timing coming through. When are they going to be able to use a lot of this mobility to really take control of how these fights are happening?
Might actually look to smoke up. It was just Blink and the Doom. He's got the ultimate available, Omni Slash in a couple seconds, also Sunj and Yasha on Natsumi's Juggernaut. And while we take a look at Dire, Holy Locket, trying to see any other items. BKB still shy on the Razor. BKB shy on Nico as well, and the Spectre is a bit away from the Manta, so they are behind in regards to items, and this is something where Neon can look to punish as they're setting up on Yowei top. Paj can just get in range for the blink. Yowei pretty speedy. Safety.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Palos farming away from his team again, but again, got that Haunt available. I'm still kind of shocked that he doesn't have the Blade Man. You know, you have all of this damage that's being pumped out to you. The team fights are dragging on, and so you're just going to get so much value out of it. It's going to enable you to take Ancients a lot faster than he currently is with his Echo Saber as well. I feel like it's a bit of a mistake, to be honest.
Radiant are scanning.
I don't know where he didn't want to go with this smoke. We can boom at the moment. Looks like they're anticipating maybe an aggressive movement from EXECRATION to come through mid.
I don't think they want to smoke it. They're so close to having 4-staff on this Enchantress and pretty close on the Rubik as well, but ends up doing it, feeling the confidence of this
Just shy. BKB pop. Gonna be able to chuck the Doom once again on Nico. There's some help in the Sunray, but that is not going to be enough here. They even stole the Viper Strike as well, which is level 2, so something to keep in mind for Januel. Next, what, 240 seconds.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
that again. Oh, they're actually going in.
Wants out. Great plasma field. Look at the AoE damage coming out. They're going to end up bringing down the Rubik. They'll find and Ryu as well. A quick double kill for Yowei, but they're looking to punish for more. There's Natsumi. Not claim the Juggernaut. Healing ward and even the capability of the Blade Fury. So a nice fast-paced move from EXECRATION. They get a little bit of revenge there.
No massive Pidus either. Use it. He made sure to use that Devour. So it's not the worst. You know, you used all of your cooldowns. You gave a little bit of space. Now you've got the 4-star finished up on CTM. Only 300 gold away on this Rubik as well. Close to that Hurricane Pike. So Honestly, during all of that, are they going to find Yoe? Looks like it's
Yoe. Natsumi, CTM, that should be plenty of damage with the Omni Slash drop. Great kill from them. Yoe starting to pick up some steam here on the Razor, and guess who, Scam? At heart, it is always this call. Always the man is closing in on the Hurricane Pike. 353 gold bounty to him. That pickoff is going to lead them into Roshan.
Yeah, they realize no haunt. That's really the thing that we need to be most aware of. I guess Magnetize as well. BDZ has been playing a fantastic game. He is by far the best player right now on Execration, just with his comfort pick, being able to come through, influence so many team fights. The Ags.
Hold out again. Gonna get back to safety. BDZ gonna try and protect him for a short duration. Also got a TP in. Got the Viper Strike. They waited jump at the moment with the lasso on. They are not going to be able to go.
He's totally healthy though. Held up, he's got an earn ticket on him.
He got
tense.
answered.
More stuff. Well, Hurricane Pike. She's going to be dishing out. You know, the first couple of those super present. It wasn't
Gotcha.
times where he could have been dealing. Time to farm instead. They could take him out with. Didn't need the enchant. This next ATM really. It's able with a lot.
Should help.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Roshan has fallen to the darkness.
I will not forgive this.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's courier has been killed.
Healing power. This ran off.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
In the underskin.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. bottom tower has fallen.
Gold is a great conductor. Illusion.
Radiant's courier has been killed. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Mine.
Radiant are scanning. Dire are scanning. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Come on, Sprite!
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Got the TP up. Yes, sir. He's back to safety. We're just seeing, though, when these BKBs, they're expiring, they are getting shredded from all the magic damage, all this AoE damage that Execration had.
Yeah, I have to agree. I feel like that Supernova was... You mentioned that it wasn't the greatest. I mean, Neo just kept running into it. That's probably why it was a better one.
Still...
Coming out, that might have been revealed. Yeah, they do ping it out immediately. One of the few mistakes that we've seen so far from Execration. Smoking behind the Razor. They're going to back up to the safety of their high ground.
What do we got here? Omni cooldown, Lasso cooldown, Doom cooldown as well. Radiant, they've got a pretty good ward around that high ground near the secret shot. But I don't actually know if they can take this fight head on with all their abilities on cooldown.
I mean, when you think about it, you never want to be caught in an enclosed space like this. You're against a Spectre that's just going to be able to divide and conquer. You're going to have the Nether Toxin on the ground. You're going to have Magnetized. You're going to have like a couple of cliff spots where a Sunray can be perfect in combination together with a Supernova. You need to take these fights in the open field. So if I was Neon, I would back off completely. I would look to counter smoke once all of my ultimates are available and look to try and catch Execration. You know, maybe next to Roche Pit, maybe in mid lane or something like that.
We're seeing as well, like the issue Haunt coming through, like you just said, in a choke point, the divide and conquer that the Spectre has brought up in the draft, that these supports are just going to be food for the illusions, food for the Spectre. To mention is that Radiant, they are very much relying on Yopaj to get this jump. That blink, lasso, drag back, instantly just cancel one hero out of the fight. But if you get the Viper Strike, you know, that can cancel the blink opportunity from Yopaj. Even better, it's that Horn. So I don't know how they're going to do it on Neon, but you have to get the jump before the Haunt comes through. Otherwise, it just feels like this Batrider capability, it's taken out of factor. And they knew they spoke. Nearby. There's the vision, and Ryu, BKB. Let's see if they're just going to try and retreat away, or are they going to stand their ground? BKB's about to expire, and they should be able to catch him out here. Nice wall stop. Idle legs, forced off as well. And Ryu, there's no chance he makes it away here. They have to cut their losses. He's going to fall inside the jungle, but Radiant, they're still sticking around. CTM glimmered up, but they got the detection. A rolling kickback away from the high ground. They'll lose two, and guess what? Gaben's on their side. Version's up in 5-7. Yopaj, flick in. They've got the Omni. That's a lot committed. Yowei's won't just slip in the over. Oh my! He almost fell. One more slash would have been enough. He has to pop the ultimate for that. They stole the egg. Oh, okay. That's level 3 egg too.
I see you, Chow. We could see a big play happen around this Roche Pit. I mean, that was the dieback on BDZ, so he's not going to be available. They don't seem to care. They're having confidence in their ability to take this fight. I suppose the Doom is still dead. Doom, of course, such a strong ability to be able to use in these close encounters, but spook him enough.
Lightning
walks in. There's the egg.
Rubik's Cube egg on the high ground. Yowei. He's posturing really aggressively. I guess he's recognizing that. Yopaj, he snatched it. Yopaj snatched the Aegis, but he's still going to lose the first life as well. Natsumi got 186 damage, so Natsumi is going to impact at the moment. They'll kill Yopaj a second time, and again, Neon, they have to watch their friends fall with no assistance. They jumped in, but I don't think you want to take this fight right now. You've got the Doom, but they have to be so cautious. Reflects the ultimate. The bastions are there as well, but where's the damage? They're going to fire back on the Batrider, but it'll instantly melt through and Ryu. And now with the numbers advantage, let's see if they can reset here. The Doom's about to expire. Yopaji doesn't have the lasso with the flame break. Bounce back powers. He's A-okay. He's even got the cheese as well. So Execration, they're in fighting shape. They can run back in and get the catch, but unfortunately with BDZ not nearby, they are lacking that opportunity.
Execration are just taking these fights so much better than Neon. Like, even just then, they make sure to place that observer ward up top. They didn't care that Neon also had vision. Eventually, they were able to get rid of it because of the D ward that happened, but that just enabled them to have complete understanding of how far they could retreat. Are they going to try and go in with one person? And then you just saw the quick fingers again with that Lotus Orb, able to get off, reflects the Doom. means that, once again, impact hasn't been quite what you were expecting, considering the amazing start that he had in terms of his net worth.
$7,000 net worth lead for Execration. Look at that net worth graph. It is a plummet down. Ava. They are all cylinders clicking, and like you said, they are just executing these fights at another level compared to Neon. Are there any big timings that we're going to see come through for them short? Any items that we're waiting for?
Under attack.
They don't have much of anything right now on Neon.
You gotta be so careful. Start on forward. Instant BKB. They have to kite the static link. They're able to do so. Still was able to soak away 52 damage. They're going to look to reset. Full lot committed. Room still on cooldown as well from Enryu.
It's greedy.
Got forward, double force, Enryu back to safety, but the horn's gonna fly. Spider Legs doing a great job to kite this, but they're being able to catch out CTM. The Enchantress, no man's land, unable to get back to safety with the rest of the team.
It was a haunt for an Enchantress at the end of the day. I mean, this is not what Scam was expecting when he picked this up and when he put all that part priority into himself. He's at the bottom of the net worth right now. He's not dealing anywhere near enough damage in these team fights. Gonna continue to save his gold, make sure that he's got that buyback available in a minute's time, but that BKB is absolutely necessary for him if he wants to make any kind of impact in these teams.
Yeah, and I felt like Radiant scaling late game would have been pretty decent with how CTM was farming, but he's just 4, 8, and 6, dropped to the bottom of the net worth. Yes, he's got a lot of farm considering as a support, but we're just not seeing his impact compared to what BDZ has or even RR as well. But I do want to mention, or at least ask, what do we feel like is going to be a late game matchup for Natsumi's Juggernaut? How is he going to fare against Execration?
It's going to take a lot, right? Like, are we going to see a potential Ag Scepter come out for this Doom so that you get the break onto the Spectre? That might be it. Are we going to bank on Zhao being able to steal the Nether Toxin so that you can deal with the Spectre? Like, you're still against a Phoenix. That's something that you need to be concerned about. And it feels like every single time he's getting a full channel off onto that Sunray. Gaben, though, he's smiling on Neon. He's saying, you know what, let's try and make a game of this. He makes sure to drop the leveler for them. That extra attack speed is going to be enormous, both for the Omni Slashes as well as being able to finally kill that goddamn egg.
He's also smiling on Execration. That's a DD in the bottle for Palos. Still got the cheese in the backpack and a nullifier. Okay, that is an incredible item. Level 25, he's got that 5% dispersion increase. Taking a look at the nullifier and what it's going to be able to do this game. You've got 3 4 staffs, a glimmer on the Rubik, and it's going to be so difficult to deal with the Spectre Haunt now. Dire around their higher ground once again, playing in a position where they can pop the smoke with a vision advantage, but Radiant, they're going to go the long way down through the bottom lane.
At them, they're just playing around these choke points. I really love it. You know, they've got the vision, they've got the heroes on the... Well, I mean, if they make this big wraparound, it could be huge, although that's not the target that they're going for. They want to find this Spectre. Got the double damage, but not a ton of mana, and not a huge amount of survivability, it has to be said. If you take away that haunt potential to be able to get away to some other part of the fight, then, well, suddenly can be food.
I don't know how they're actually going to be able to get there fast enough, Execration.
Instantly Ninja Gears.
And they're coming down too. BDZ and RR straight away moving to connect the Spectre. Oops.
No, they're not all connected though. Yoe's still in mid lane. Nico around his high ground.
Hunting forward. Oh, that's a big pickup. BDZ has been doing so much work throughout the fight. Wants in, jumps straight on top of the backline. Januel through to the Spectre, but he's got a buyback. They don't have the outpost control though, so we won't be able to rejoin instantly. Doom's out, no low swap to be able to protect him. The static link's not there as well. They need to stay on top of the Razor, but they're unable to do so. They'll kite it back, and Omni Slash unable to do any amount of damage as well. So Natsumi has to retreat back to safety with the Blade Fury, but he's getting kited. The Viper Strike slowing him down at double force into the TPR. Can he make it? No! Yoe! They use the cancel and Natsumi will fall. He's down for 90 seconds. He doesn't have a buyback, and BDZ, the off-chat voice lines are there as well.
perfect timing with everything. It's totally right. He couldn't even just TP straight away there. I was like, but they got no stuns. There's no BDZ. You can't just go there. But they had the supernova. It would have popped before the TP went off. So forced to attempt to make that kind of play. Nice double 4 stuff coming through, but it's just not enough. And well, they're going to finally start pressuring into the high ground. Can you imagine 41 minutes in, first time that we're going to be breaching high ground?
Breach the leg again. Okay. Is anything that can help out? I mean, Nethertoxin would be great for a high ground defense, but Rubik's Cube Supernova. Oh, that might just not be a factor now. That horn
was just the shadow step.
Charge, sure. Yeah.
Radiant's bottom tower.
I don't even shadow step yet, the dispersion. You gotta be super careful now, actually, right? Yeah, you're gonna be using the fade bolts. It's like, call an ambulance, but not for me.
One thing about Execration is that they do not siege fast with the Spectre. Maybe CTM can posture. This Hurricane Pike falls back and there's the Rubik's Shoot on top of the backline with the lasso. The Dragon Spectre is in the fountain. The fountain! Powers, Manta, Flame Break, further back. We've seen what happens when you're stuck in the fountain. No, Palace will fall. And Ryu somehow alive. What an incredible lasso. He's got a buyback. What's up in 15 seconds as well? If this fight drags on, he might be able to rejoin them. Nico's in trouble. They're going to cut their losses as the Viper will sacrifice himself to the gods. Down for 80. They're catching more though. Natsumi shouldn't have a stun. That's 2 down. Both have buyback though, but the lanes are so far shoved out.
I mean, again, individual brilliance. That's what needs to happen. Being able to drag the Spectre in the midst of all of that chaos back into the fountain and then flame break him back in when he tries to escape. On top of that, CTM finally able to just sit back and deal some damage. He was essentially doing the most damage on his team in that team fight. He's almost level 20 now, so he's going to get that little bit of extra team fight control once these BKBs start to run lower with the extra untouchable slow. Hell, he might even go the Ancient and try and take this Granite Gold. An extra 10%, 15% HP is going to be super effective.
Maven just not smiling down on Neon, it looks like. Punched in Roshan. It's a long respawn. Juggernaut potentially could have been able to take that. Tier 2 tower. The ward inside the base, jumped in, instant, finds the Phoenix. Gonna take care of the Supernova in the fight. They need to bring him down before the dive for the telekinesis.
No buyback.
Phoenix doesn't have a buyback.
It's very close. It's very close.
The 25 cooldown on the lasso too. Roll in, BDZ finds a Jug and they push him back. Nice force stuff once again. They're fighting before they're back alive on the Viper. That's a BKB, actually the minute a horn from your way. Roll in once again. A buyback gonna come through. Execration, they've got all 5. They've got to lose on N Ryu into the instant TP. CTM will make it. But Natsumi? His Blade Fury's on cooldown. Can't sidestep the roll as well. Podge, he needs to do whatever he can. He's unable to do anything. He will lose Natsumi. He's able to get the Shadow Step as well. Podge, nice blink away, TP out, he's okay. Natsumi doesn't have a buyback.
Oh, not again. He's having to go all in onto just trying to win these team fights. Do they have a Philosopher's Stone? No, they don't. So he's not even able to sit that one in his inventory while he's dead for a little bit of extra old gumming his way. And, well, we talked about before with Neon, they weren't put in an advantageous position.
CTM? No. CTM, they got another force. They've already used it on Zhao and Kalos. Mr. Blade is out. CTM is a goner. Unable to get back in. He's got a buyback. They also still Sunray, so we'll see how that's going to come into play here.
Radiant's middle tower is under
What I was saying was, Roche still ain't up, so it's not the end of the world. And, well, it's going to be another 60 seconds, though. You've got some decent tower taking potential. I kind of want to see, well, I feel like Execration aren't going to want to go onto the high ground unless they're already in a super advantageous position. They're not the type that are just going to slowly chip away, so maybe the ag shot on Nico isn't the way to do it.
Gold is a great conductor.
We've seen what Doom can do in the late game. This hero can just take multiple people out of a game with pressure orb. He now has it picked up, the double Doom capability. He is going to a Lincoln's on the Viper, the Lotus Orb as well, so we'll see how that's able to come into play here for Nico. Smoke up. Showed up in a couple of seconds.
Just as it respawns. Oh, The vision from the Shivas gets away. Jiggy though, it's going forward on Palace. And they finally have vision around this area, but no, taken away immediately.
Assist Roshan as well. Third one for Pressure Shard. And shown with the Aegis Cheese die, they're going to smoke up. 5 Radiant themselves as well. Smoke on smoke for this third Roshan, who is able to get the jump. It all comes down to the vision. Nico on the front line, time and time again this game, the Viper's been the ones to pop the smoke. It's going to instantly happen. He's rolling. He's going to get caught before the ultimate. He's going to pop the BKB and Ryu instantly. He's going to get cancelled though. Refreshes out. Now down to the back line. They drop the supernova. It's unable to control anyone, but a lot of ultimates being forced. But look at a reset. Is Yahweh? How much someone died just yet? CTM? TP out? And Ryu? He's got TP as well. Nullify is it. I don't think he'll make it. Wake up in a couple seconds, maybe? Oh, BDZ. He's on point.
Oh man, he ran across the entire map just to try and get away from this pesky Spectre. Ends up using at least the dispersion, but man, it's going to open up that Roche pit.
Such a chaotic fight. I mean, Ryu, he linked into the role, so got stunned. He couldn't get that initiation. I think he doomed the Lincolns from the Viper. So he had to refresh. Yeah, but it just wasn't a factor at all.
We even give this shard over to, I guess it has to be the Phoenix, right? But I don't know, there's an argument for the Spectre as well on top of this.
Who's holding it? They give it to Yahweh at the moment.
I guess just wanting him to frontline and being able to refresh the Aeon disc is the key factor for them. Oh, he's also got, I believe, the Ag Scepter coming out to him, so we could see some Tesla coil action. I mean, we were talking about before, how are they going to actually breach this high ground? Maybe the Viper Ags. No, just use the old Tesla coil.
I guess even if Razor eventually gets the Aghanim Scepter for himself, which, you know, of course, like you said,
he's got it.
Yeah, just picked up. So now that capability to siege is increased here for Yahweh. Oh, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, double Ags, the Eye of the Storm. Boy, what? This is 25 ton went for. He went for the attack speed. Okay.
Generation!
A strike interval at level 20 he went for, so it is some machine gun lightning strikes, that's for sure.
Any big talent timings, I should say, that we're about to see?
Major, I don't think. I mean, it feels like Jugs had his level 25 for a while, and to be honest, haven't really made that much use out of it.
That last fight, the Omni Slash just got completely negated thanks to Yahweh's Dual Scepter. Heading into the later stages, we could even see some form of like a Wind Waker to help out. There's like a Lasso, the Doom, Omni Slash, but we're highlighting that stone factor. So we'll see what the next item's going to be here for Yahweh.
Yeah, and it's the super late stage of the game, so they're not lacking damage on Execration right now. They've got the Sunray, they've got the Spectre. That's all you realistically need. You know, they're able to toss out these Viper Strikes, but I feel like when Nico gets to 25, he's not going to go the Nether Toxin cooldown. He's going to go the Corrosive Skin, Slow, and Resistance, just to be able to, again, be that survivable beast on the front lines. Because when you think about it, where is the right-click damage coming from outside of the Enchantress and the Juggernaut? It's basically all magic, and you're going to have an inbuilt 50% magic resistance. I'll take that.
Without a doubt. That's just going to be so difficult to go through the Viper. Doesn't even have a BKB. He's like, good enough magic resistance. Mech, Lotus, Lincolns, plenty of defensive items here for them. It's like finally, Lane's getting in a position where Execration will content poking up the high ground.
Actually got the Ag's blessing, so he didn't even need to waste a spot on the Ags, and he's ready for a light show.
So drag back, they're going to try to burst down the Viper with the burst into the back line as well. falling incredibly low, and they're able to bring him down.
Look at the lightning.
Back if he wants to reset, but the Vrax is just getting shredded apart. Disc finds the proc. Are they able to reset and go back in? Dooms out and Ryu refresh a pop, but the control is not there. Telekinesis. Vector. He does have the Aegis here, but Juggernaut, he's zoning away the reinforcements. And he's getting choked down. CTM at the moment is having a free fight. And they're unable to get on top of the Enchantress. We see these impetus go to work. Make it back up, Palos.
Link's done, dude.
Flame breaks. Action's up in 15 here. Is he going to Shadow Step to straight on top of the backline? Januel up and out he goes, but it kind of fates BDZ. He's going to roll in, Silence on 2, and now with the Earth Spirit, he's in no man's land. They won't have a way to stop the roll out. No block, they're still hunting. Lasso, there we go. They're able to catch up the Razor. Yowei, he's going to fall. Right for Neon. So we're able to stall this out, and you see when Execration Yopaj! Roy should be back up. Flame break. Can he get it? Once again! Can the stun? Is it too long? I don't think it is.
Oh, he makes himself stun.
Sit in front of him. What's going on? This Aghanim. Oh, he's out. He's surfing to safety. It's BDZ. Yopaj is still trying to find him. They live to survive. Oh, Shadow Step. Palos. Okay. All after that, the full set of Vrax claim bot from the creeps. There's still battle going on the river. Okay, with the telekinesis. They also got the range racks up top as well.
Have we highlighted that? Sorry if you mentioned it before, but the Rubik shard with the telekinesis.
Oh, I just saw that. Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah. And he's got the telekinesis land distance talent as well, so he's just gonna completely reposition all these heroes in team fights. He's like, you know what? You've got your Earth Spirit. Rubik does just as good a job. Well, maybe not, but you get what they're thinking.
We're seeing what happens though. Neon, if you get the jump of the lasso, they're eliminating one hero to stop. And this is down to, you're on a high ground when you're on your own high ground and in your base. One Enchantress, so much more difficult to heavily commit deep inside to punish her. Otherwise, if you don't bring her down instantly, you're kind of getting kited further and further back. Next minute, you're behind the throne, and next minute, you're just going to get punished. So you see that time Neon jump from them, the lasso, finding a couple targets, and also the big thing is we've been bringing up constantly this game. CTM hasn't been dishing out the damage, but that was one of the fights where we really saw it come into fruition.
I kind of feel like that was the first fight. Once this Enchantress is, I'm going to say, come online, just even had a Dragon Lance, that they've been able to, like, take a fight when Execration's on the run, and you saw how different it was. You finally get the use out of your Enchanted Quiver. You can finally have that max range to be able to attack people with your impetus. And, well, if he can get to level 25, it can be even more. You get that extra 6.5% impetus damage. You are able to be much more of a beast in these team fights. He's also not even had to use his BKB at all just yet, and he's going into a moon shard on top of that. So he just wants to rain down hell from afar.
This is some big items getting picked up for Neon. Opage has almost got enough for the Aghanims, so that is going to be incredible. Another save like we saw previously with Zhang Yuo's Aghanim shard. Also, Ryu, he's got his Aghanims. So now you have a break on the Doom. It's going to last an extra 6 seconds. So potentially, Opage, is he going to buy out for the Ags or hold buyback? That's the...
Hell, it's even good against the Viper and the Razor, right? It seems like a lot of these fights are an issue because they can just run away with the overall lack of stuns.
Lane, Nico showing. What's the ball? No! That's not the start you're looking for. They've got to get back. Cannot stick around now. You messed up your initiation.
Yeah, he did it in the wrong order. He force-stuffed himself and then tried to lasso him with that pop of the Lincolns.
Dire, instant smoke, all to the vision. Brady, on the back line, Palos, trying to target down the Rubik. Are they able to bring him down? Moves himself. It's back to safety. The Supernova got used as well. They're going to commit on forward. Palos still takes care of the Rubik. Won't have Januel. Doesn't have a buyback as well.
Aben, what are we thinking with this Roche? 7 seconds away. What are you thinking? Come on, make a prediction. Quick.
Minute 50.
Missed it. Oh, you're pretty close. Closest without going over is me, technically. We are using Price is Right rules here.
Honestly, I was hoping it was just a long, like the longest Roche one. I want a 60-minute game. We're 4 minutes away. Give me 60 minutes.
Yeah, we've had like a 57-minute game, right? But we ourselves have not had a 60-minute game, so I'm hyped.
Everyone else has been getting 60. I know, B Cop and Black got that 100-minute thriller. Both and Pombo keep getting 60 minutes. Pumping. He's got a DD. Big heavy from Andrew. An incredible wall stop. Dude's out as well. This is the Aghanim. Dude to the break is there. They'll fight if he doesn't have a buyback. Aeon's on this slash. Breezer's gonna fall as well. 2 down instantly. Neon. What a counter initiation. They're able to protect Yopaj, and they want more blood too. Back in the mix of it all. Nico, can they cancel? Oh, that's so close. So close. But guess what? Fourth Roshan. It could be for the taking here. In fact, maybe RR's for the taking. Yopaj, he's got the gem.
Even pop his Aeon disc.
Cooldown.
It's nighttime. They might not see him eventually. Oh.
Each blow sharpens my blade.
5 seconds away. Tick-tock on the Roche clock. And Yopaj, he's come into his own. Like, he had a bit of a rough, like, 20 to, let's say, 40 minutes, but multiple times now. Dragging Spectre back into the fountain, dragging targets away. Yeah, sure, there was one botched initiation just before, but other than that, he's been able to create the chaos needed to allow Enryu to get these dooms off. That Ags doom is fantastic.
And he doesn't have to buy Ags now. Or you give it to Natsumi. You need to give these Ags to.
Just give it to Yopaj. I think it's totally fine.
And Refresher Shard too. So they're gonna have. Oh no! I mean,
Doom.
late game. Okay.
What have we here?
Triple Doom. He's got a Refresher. I believe I saw queued up for Batrider. Yep. So he's eventually gonna have double lasso. You see, I mean, it's. You need an answer to the Batrider. Often we see in the draft a hard dispel is required. And if you don't have that, there is a massive opportunity in the late game for an instant pickoff. I mean, at last 4 seconds, you can drag someone so far away from the team. And we are just seeing in these fights, Yopaj gets the jump. They're not haunting to cancel the blink fast enough. And just with having a numbers advantage, Neon are doing so much work with that. Now, they have the net worth lead. They have the advantage from Roche.
Pretty ballsy. They're going all out. They're all in on this, it seems, because CTM, he bought out his Moon Shard. He's level 25. He knows he can be a beast. You've also got Natsumi, who I believe finished up his purchase of the Ags. I'm not quite sure where it is just yet, but buy and sell it? I'm sure I saw that come up. Oh, wait, it was an Axe Blessing, right.
Are scanning.
Is this?
Axe Blessing on Natsumi. So he doesn't have buyback, he has Aegis though, and he's going to continue farming this wave. It's always scary though, it's nighttime, it's spooky, and you don't know where Execration are just yet.
Yeah, the issue is as well is that bottom lane. See, Yopaj is trying to deal with it at the moment. Would you kind of prefer to see Neon almost push through bot instead to not have to worry about the super creeps that are down there?
Maybe they're thinking that luck is on their side and they're going to get better tier 5 items. We've already seen one series kind of decided by it, with a Ballista being picked up in that TB versus Arc Warden game. What could be the one? What could be the thing that shifts something either way for either team? I think Mirror Shield could be quite nice against all this Doom, Lasso, everything going your way. Even Fallen Sky, hell.
I think Gods was the one to say it, where as soon as it gets 60 minutes, can we just have a pause? Like, can we look at these neutral items again and just get a bit of a recap? Because I'm not gonna lie, like, there are just, you never see them. You never really see them. Although apparently in these qualifiers, we're seeing them constly. We're gonna see them again.
He went and bought his own Moonshard as well, so he doesn't have buyback. He's 3,000 gold away.
Sky. Oh, there's one of them.
I'll take that.
There's one of the big ones. Brady, they're smoking up
to
before hitting items. You gotta hit creeps to get these. Got eye up. They've got this outpost control. Vision. How's Yopaj able to get the jump? It's actually blinking back to safety, and now Natsumi is pushing on forward. You've got to be careful because the blink's on cooldown for Yopaj. It's up to the back line as well. And you do. It's going to get reflected through, so he won't have the double through. Controlling him up at the moment, but the damage is too much for them to deal with. Natsumi, the turn to stone, super over in the middle of the fight. CTM, he controlled the outpost. The buybacks are going to be able to rejoin with the TPs, but can they protect the Juggernaut? The Aegis
Don't have buyback,
respawn.
remember?
They're all in on this team fight. They bought out for the items. They need help and they need it now. Natsumi, Blade 2, talking it down. But he's still alive. And Ryu, Blink in, double doom. You push as well. That's going to be a fight. Execration. They lose all 5. And look at Yopaj instantly. He's going to shove out mid.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, this game. We don't even need tier 5 items if we've got things happening like that. Get the go on. That's a
Dire's
big
middle
buyback
tower
being
is
used
under
there.
attack.
And can get on this.
Condition.
Full 30 on Palace as
condition.
well.
What buybacks were used there from Radiant? So Yopaj and Januel. Oh, that Rubik shard, my god.
Yeeted him across the map, basically. Giants ring, baby.
Ha ha ha. Who do we give
Give it
that
to
to?
Doom.
Watch her waste.
It's to
I guess he doesn't have much. He doesn't have much strength. Sucks.
Rubik speed could be nice for him.
Dire's
Oh.
bottom
Head.
tower
That's
is under
Did you
attack.
see the
X.
ballista on CTM?
Oh, he's got a DD2. I mean, this. Do you like what Spectre's been doing? Because it looks like Spectre's been prioritizing killing the Rubik instead of the Enchantress. I guess if you go Enchantress, then telekinesis just protects someone. In our CTM, that's an issue. Now your Enchantress is big damage.
Yeah, and you just have a look at the Rubik's items as well, right? He's got the 4-staff, he's got the Glimmer Cape, and you've got a Nullifier on your Spectre. So it makes a lot of sense to go onto that Rubik because you've essentially, ruined
Dire are
that quick
scanning.
mass. 4,000 gold of his net worth, maybe more, 4.5k.
What neutral items have we got? All 4 on Radiant. So Ballista is on your Enchantress, Giant's Ring on the Doom,
Oh, look at the Doom.
on Yopaj. He is huge. And
And he has
also
a
the
BKB, Jed.
oh no, the second Desolator as well is on your Juggernaut. He's actually got a backpack at the moment. And then Dire, they've only got 3. Book of the Dead again, kind of poopy. That's on the Viper. We got the Fallen Sky. I've seen too many clutch Fallen Sky plays win games over. One more is the Apex on the Spectre. Big items this game.
For me, personally, I feel like it should be Ex Machina on the Doom, and I feel like you should give the Giant's Ring to the Bat Rider, because he's still holding on to this spider legs, and, that's the cooldown for when you're able to actually go over terrain, right? Of course, you got Firefly on top of that, but you can always just go over terrain. It feels like it makes sense, and you want to be on top of people, constantly.
What is the last neutral item that you'd like to see from Dire? Is there
Dire's
anyone that's
bottom
standing
tower
out
is
before?
under
Well,
attack.
too late. Desolator.
I'm going to go with
It's the
Stygian
last.
Desolator.
Yeah, that is wow. Never seen a call better than that in my life. So, you cannot play away from your Spectre now. So often we see.
Hold on, sorry to interrupt. Have a look at the win prop.
Oh my! It's dead even.
20k net
Game
worth
one.
and dead even win probability.
Top 6, lower bracket round 4, Execration Neon, 2 major caliber teams, and we have a dead even game 64 minutes in from the win probability. Oh my lord, Neon have crawled their way back into this game. They were down about 15,000 net worth. Now they have a 20k net worth lead, a big win condition as well, with the Spectre buyback being forced out previously.
Dude, he basically looks like Roshan in this pit. He's just standing around patrolling his territory. Yeah, it's 20 seconds until Roche could potentially be up, so he's seeing if his brother's home.
That's actually so impactful, this game. The constructive movement. As we see, just again, mobility.
Against a Razor.
positioning at the jump, exactly. Razor, Viper slow. There's so many slows on Dire. One thing that we haven't brought up is the Aghanims on RR. This could be really impactful. We have yet to see Neon, I believe, honestly, actually kill the egg. So Phoenix did go for that supernova hit count. It's up to 16 at the moment. He can drag one person in. That could just make or break it.
Yeah, and hopefully for their sake, it's not going to be another case of, I believe it was Boomy bringing the Terrorblade into the egg, and the egg died, and he was dead without buyback in our series yesterday. But I mean, like you said, they really only still have one egg hitter in that Juggernaut.
Look at CTM's net worth. He's 2k behind the Viper. He is.
With a Scotty.
Yep, my god. It's 3,100 health. We're closing on 30s. We are suspect all the talents available. Dire outside the base though. Smoked up, Observerboard's drop. See Natsumi. X is there. Able to bring him down with the initial jump. Fallen Sky, but a quick BKB, but the Doom's out as well. But the dive away is going to go back forward. Into the issue of Neon, because they can close the distance. Very nice. The Earthquake's going to be able to turn into stone, but still the Doom duration's way too much for them to handle. On top of the backline, Viper down, 3 it's all up to Yahweh, but they're on top of Spectre. He doesn't have a buyback, that just might be it. Spectre down, 120 seconds on the deck. Yahweh's going to fall as well. Razor Viper instantly buying back. Can they try and rat this potentially? Yahweh, maybe he might have to buy up for a refresher and TP bot. I think that's the only opportunity you've got. I don't see what other play they make this game. You've got Glyph, Radiant have Glyph as well. You've got to make a play. You can't go head to head versus 5 heroes.
That's the money for it though.
Nico's outside the base. Daniel, he's not a static link. So Nico's doing nothing. Soaking him dry. Meanwhile, Yahweh is getting caught out as well. And Ryu straight on top of him. And his pop. He's already used the refresher. They're closing him. Meanwhile, the turret dismounts. Natsumi. The objective base gaming. That's be able to do it. That's it. We take game 1 in our elimination series.
Oh, just going back and forth constantly. weeks was the DPC? Like 6-7 weeks
seven,
of
yeah.
upper and lower division? There was one. Like, this is how close it gets when you're at the pointy end of things, when you're on the road to TI, and when you've got these teams playing for, like, hell, if either of these teams eventually make it, or hell, any team, you get a minimum of $100,000 for making it to TI. Minimum. Like, and that's, you know, very bottom of the scale. And I feel like with this caliber of Dota, you would be placed to do much better than that.
And the prestige also. How many of these players even left inside the qualifier have even added TI to their name? Maybe like Fnatic and TNC players, but Execration, Neon, Galaxy Racer, and Boom. I'm pretty sure everyone right now in lower bracket, it would be their first TI attendance for a long. So much on the line. Not surprising at all that these games are going so long, but that's the kind of intensity that we like to see as we now begin the draft for game number 2. Aries, I think you had something notable to point out after seeing the Rubik and Enchantress being picked up first phase, and yet Execration did not respond the way you were expecting.
Yeah, I thought they were going to go again. I thought we were actually going to see the identical first phase opener. Yep, I said I want more game 1. Why not do the same draft as well? But didn't go the Spectre. I don't hate the Earth Spirit though, because again, this is the opening that they were able to beat SMG with. And of course, we can't hate what BDZ did with the Earth Spirit last game. The only issue is that the Spectre got banned out. So it's just, I guess, showing that they have a little bit more priority on the Earth Spirit. And if they went Spectre, then doubt the Earth Spirit best.
Bro, this seems like
early PA.
Seems like some scrim kind of intel. They first pick Rubik and then they PA. This is not normal, Danog.
Yeah, no, and against the Viper as well, right? You've got the Nether Toxin, you've got a break to be able to be good against the Phantom Assassin. It's... I'm not sure how I feel about it, but the Magnus is still in the pool. They might, you know, do a bit of a throwback. You can have the Enchantress throw that into the position 5 role. We were talking before about how, you know, when you've got, for example, the Nature's Prophet, it's not really something that Skem and Natsumi can play these days since Skem's movement, but we saw now Enchantress can be played 4 or 5. It's clearly in both of their wheelhouses, and maybe that's what will be necessary with this PA being picked up.
Now this is looking very much like their one draft against SMG, where it was Viper, Earth Spirit, Treant, and then they picked Templar Assassin and Ember Spirit as their last 2 picks on Execration, and it was a safe lane Ember Spirit, mid lane Templar Assassin. Not gonna happen. Neon's one step ahead. We got Bat Rider already.
Yeah, no TA coming through this time around. It would have been nice prior to that, you know, PA doesn't do that amazing against the TA, but Bat Rider, some good heads-up play coming through from Neon to make sure that doesn't happen.
This is such incredible drafting from either team. You see the Tree Protector getting picked up. PA's a hero that isn't really a Manta builder. Like, you really don't want to be going into that. So EKB is going to kite through you. Tree loves holding tier 1 towers early, and we know PA is kind of more of a farming orientated position 1, so you're not going to be able to get those towers. Answered by the Bat Rider. You see the both duo support from Execration. Again, we harped on last game. You don't have a hard dispel. Bat Rider is going to tear you apart in the late game. We saw what Yopaj did. We're going to potentially see what he's already done. And the Bat Rider is also protected already as they banned the Phantom Lancer in the second phase. So Neon, incredible drafting from them too.
And Execration are covering their bases of it potentially being an offlane Bat Rider as well, because with the Phantom Lancer being banned out of the guest, they're like, okay, we may want to put this Bat Rider side lane, so we'll ban out the Templar Assassin.
Yeah, and of course, good matchup against the Puck as well, so something that they were also considering, but how they're going to do this, because right now, Bat Rider, he wants to kind of get in on the front lines, but there's no one there that can soak up a ton of damage. Maybe it might force the Enchantress into being this position 5 role.
You can get a DK also. DK is suspiciously not banned out at all.
Yeah, it was one of those heroes that we talked about prior to game 1 that is going to be pretty hotly contested. Still no Mirana. I'm a little disappointed that my prediction for that one didn't come to fruition, but, you know, it's not an amazing Mirana game. I feel like oftentimes where it shines is when you've got obviously the easy setup into it with something like the Dragon Tail, for example, and still, again, this is not stun gaming. You've got, you know, a Puck with the Dream Coil, which is kind of that. You've got the Earth, you've got the Overgrowth, and Lasso and Telekinesis is all that's left, but they're gonna go a Luna, not care about all of that evasion that might be coming through from the PA when you can eventually transition into doing some kind of magic there.
You have to consider building a BKB now as a Phantom Assassin, as much as I'm sure she probably hates doing so, but you're against Overgrowth, Dream Coil, a likely magic damage Luna, and the Nether Toxin that we talked about from the first phase.
Void
Plus being silenced up by this Earth Spirit. This is the first time I've seen Neon play Void Spirit in quite a while. Like, it is a Yopaj special.
Haha. We're in for a treat. We are in for a treat.
Wonder why it's really dropped off the face of the map. I remember watching like some stats that Knoxville did for the NADPC, and Void Spirit was like the constant across every single mid laner, and now it's just completely fallen by the wayside. But let's see if Yopaj has the tools to be able to, you know, maybe put it on the map a little bit more again.
What is the Void Spirit? Any of the other spirits? I think Ember was still in the pool. I'm not sure if Storm was. What's a Void Spirit offering here? Because we still don't have any frontline. You were saying it's pretty much just Enchantress. Void Spirit kind of does, but only against physical damage, and we already talked about there's a lot of magic coming from Execration.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe it's his role just to try and get in onto the front lines, get that super early Ag Scepter, and try and disrupt the impact that BDZ might have. But we saw that up until the 40-minute mark, it was Execration being the ones that were the aggressors. They were the ones constantly trying to push Neon back, and well, it is going to be another CTM Enchantress as well. So I'm not quite as certain how this lane's going to go. You know, Jug, Rubik, there was the potential, of course, for those early kills with the Blade Fury. But this time around, with even with a tri-lane to begin with, I'm not sure if a PA is going to be able to do enough damage to be able to secure it.
Well, if Execration go down here, they're going down swinging. It's very much the same draft that they beat SMG with. Let's see if they can replicate that success in game number 2. Dan Oganares, take it away.
Tsunami, game 2. Elimination match now. Execration, if they want any hope of forcing a game 3, this is the lineup that they're able to do it with. Some comfort heroes, to say the least. We've seen Yahweh already through the qualifiers absolutely pop off on the puck. And before we get too ahead of ourselves, we've got a bit of a smoke on smoke action. We're almost diverging to connect with each other. I'm such a big fan of the all chats from a lot of the Southeast Asian players. They're just so close with each other. You see kind of the camaraderie come through.
I mean, this is the Filipino Dota, right? This is the Rambulan coming through. 10 Pinoy players facing up against each other. I'm not sure if there's like, you know, depending on what island you're from, if you're from Zon or that sort of thing, but who knows? All right.
Ground, that is not a place you want to be. It's a full Radiant Heroes dragged back into his demise. And our Execration, they're trying to take the fight. The Barrett is not there at the moment. Slowly, we're going to see Enryu waddle his way, help out if a further fight continues to break out.
The battle begins.
They have left in the tank, though. First blood, that should be it.
3 runes maybe for Neon. Enryu, he's going to be able to walk his way towards the top side. Does a bat waddle? He's more of a flyer than a waddler.
Yeah. Like, kind of flying sounds like you're like waddle's slow, and he was kind of moving a little bit slow, but flying, like to me, I just think of it, it's faster in a way. So just kind of describing the slow, yeah. But we are again seeing this tri-lane, so the emphasis last game, you have to shut down the Viper through the early levels. If it hits that second point in the poison attack, lane can start to become disastrous.
Totally happy to have this solo as well on Neon, though. You need levels on the Bat Rider. That's why oftentimes we are seeing it picked as that gotcha mid lane pick when people forget about it and it's in a really good matchup. But if you're able to give him this solid start, then there is even some decent kill potential when you've got the Enchantress. You know, when CTM starts to make the rotations through, you're going to still have that enchant. And that's going to be double slows against something that's relatively squishy like a Luna.
I love what they're doing on CTM. We saw last game just the recognition already. Like, these teams do not have long in between the break, but with Dire in particular, they're doing the same things to block camps. And CTM's like, all right, you're gonna do that, I'm just gonna go to your triangle. I'll take Centaur Conqueror, armor camp away, and now I've got a creep to play with.
I wonder how good they're going to be on point with the stacks coming out here, because you've got a Luna, one of the best junglers in the entire game. Are they going to make full use out of that Nico? He's in a bit of trouble here.
Wow. That's a lot of damage. The level 2 Natsumi and Januel. And they can take the tower because the Centaur Conqueror. Timing now expires. They're able to get a double kill. Januel, your position 5. He's able to pick up both.
He's the carry now. Well, still not top in the net worth. That first blood on Yopaj, leaving him in good stead. Yeah, things looking real solid for Neon to start things out. And it's going to even put more impetus on the fact that these stacks are going to need to build up. Dire side, jungle, it's where you want to be as a Luna.
And it doesn't really seem like the Earth Spirit is one of the better supports to be able to create those stacks for someone like a Luna. So
yeah,
I really wonder how that's going to come into play, because we saw it last game as well. Something we were bringing up is that the Enchantress wasn't putting as much emphasis on making those stacks for the Batrider. Maybe might be freed up a little bit more this game because of how well that bottom lane went. All eyes on the supports movements early on once again.
Yeah, for sure. And you can just see where CTM is positioning himself. He wants to make sure that these stacks aren't happening, even though Earth Spirit, he's one that wants to be brawling. He can't just be standing around here. I wonder if he's going to even just allow the camp to spawn. No. Trying to test with BDZ. He's going to take away the bounty rune as well. So some really, it's a different type of gameplay, right? It's a lot more harassment, a lot more annoying. And I suppose that's what you're kind of considering you've got a PA, right? Like, this is a Natsumi staple. Both teams going for what brought them to this stage.
So how do we feel about the mid lane though? Yopaj up against the Puck. Is there a hero that you feel like might be a little bit more favorable in the lane?
I think it breaks even. You know, the first blood was obviously going to help him, having a little bit of extra stats. He was able to get an earlier bottle, so that refill on the, I believe it was the top rune, really impactful for him. But it's always the factor of, I wonder what he's going to be building into. Like, is it going to be straight Ags? Is he going to go a Yule Scepter to be able to try and get the combinations in onto the Puck? Because again, lacking a lot of stuns for this Puck. It's going to be hard to kill him prior to having that silence coming through from the Ag Scepter.
Yeah, I'd be really surprised if he doesn't go yours this game. Set up for the Puck, silence to purge it off, the overgrowth as well to get rid of it. And that's something I want to bring up, is that there are definitely some ways you can deal with the Void Spirit this game until he gets some of those defensive items. Brews, maybe BKB. Well, do have some aggression. Nico still doesn't have a second point up in the poison attack. Backing up the charges, but meanwhile Natsumi and Januel just turn their attention to deal with EXECRATION's position 5. They can't fight on top of the Nether Toxin, so it's going to cost Natsumi as he has to push back for safety, but he's actually still going to blink on forward. He might be able to clean up all 3. Is it going to be a 5-minute triple kill? It's not. As BDZ just gets the roll away, but this bottom lane already for Neon with a 2,000 net worth lead.
Even getting the bottle refill onto Yopaj, getting the D ward. Neon, they're in their element. They're feeling themselves right now. A lot of farm being given over to these cores. Even just Gaben once more smiling upon Obi Neon. They were able to get the Harpy Storm Crafter. So enables CTM, especially into a tri-lane, to have so much damage impact super early on.
How about this top lane here?
Sorry, I just want to point out something really quickly. Have a look at the diatribe. Often do you see, with a Luna lineup, you're sentry warding your own hard camp because you're just worried about the Enchantress.
And Ryu, right, like, yeah. Mid lane as well. One more second. Might not have enough time. Yopaj. Does he want to dive this? He's got Astral Step. He's already used one charge. Gonna go in. So, yeah, he dive blocked there in hard camp.
Yeah.
Good old CTM. If he can't get his own creeps in his jungle, then get them anywhere across the map.
Have there been any stacks built up yet, though? I don't think there's any right now on the Dire side.
Even Radiant as well, again, for someone like Batrider. Going to be nice if he's able to have those stacks to pass to travel. But how about this top lane? I know we're 6 minutes in. We see Luna's 35 losses doing incredibly well compared to the 20 on the Batrider. We feel like there might be an early rotation from Neon to force Palos into the jungle, or they're just trying to play their own game here.
Well, I wonder how good their communication actually is with regards to, like, what kind of harassment Enryu is taking. Pause that for a second, as we've got 3 people down on this bot side. Korea not dying before the Ring of Felt gets delivered.
Actually committed full with the Phantom Strike, so they sense a sign of weakness here. The ability on
Yopaj is here.
but a great rotation. Even Palos wants a shot. He's got an early point in the ultimate. maxed out beam, brings down the Phantom Assassin from downtown. Is a 1 for 2, and now Palos is on
middle
the
tower
bottom
is under
side, and
attack.
honestly, is this where you want to be for the Luna? Because you were free farming top.
Yeah, and that's kind of, you mentioned the point being put into the ultimate pretty early on. If they were communicating, they would see that they don't have the Moonglaives available. So yes, you're scaring in a team fight. But if you're able to make a big rotation and push him out of that lane into the jungle, he's not going to have as much farming capability, considering there's no Glaives bouncing around.
We're also still yet to see our first rotation from Yolway. And both mid laners have a lot of tempo controlling early. That they're going to smoke up. They've already got 3 heroes to connect through down bot.
Bot lane, they're already diving tower.
TP'd in. So he has to retreat, and it looks like the Rubik is going to be the sacrificial lamb. I don't believe they'll cut off Natsumi's positioning there, so they get a kill. That will be a pretty early tower. I don't know if Radiant can come down to defend it.
I don't think they can either, and honestly, I'm a little bit surprised that Natsumi, went back down to the bottom side of the map, considering they would have known that Luna TP'd away. So you don't really have anyone contesting you on the top side. I suppose just prioritizing.
Okay, Paj, she's in. Coil drop. Palos is respectable amount of health to be able to stick around. Coil's been wasted. Yolway. Telekinesis, he doesn't get the jaunt away. Sticks around for a little bit too long. And I was saying that Neon, I didn't think they'd be able to defend Bob. In fact, they do just that. They're looking to push on for more. You don't want to dive too far. The kickback still Eclipse holding at the moment. Yopaj, she commits 4, but the beams, they're raining down on Januel instead. Yopaj is able to sidestep up, and now Palos is going to be careful. Natsumi jump back in. CTM. Seen what can happen on an Enchantress if you're able to freely dish out the impetus. I know it's only level 2, but still stacking up. And have another round of the ultimate, but Yopaj, 3 points resonant. Oh, that's plenty. We don't see the Void Spirit too often, but a Yap Boy Void Spirit is one we are always treated by when he plays it.
I mean, you mentioned that they don't have a ton of right-click damage now, and it's basically all magic, but I mean, you're very happy to take these big team fights, considering you've got the 4 points in the Resonant Pulse. Yopaj is huge. He had a full bottle, able to be refilled towards the start of that. He's going to be able to go back and pick up the Banny Rune after pushing this mid lane in. And all this time, Enrio, he's just been sitting happily on the top side. 9.5 minute boots of travel coming out from him. So he's going to be able to put a lot more pressure out onto Palos. Like, you can go for a smoke dive here onto the Luna because you know that the Eclipse was used on the bot side. How are you going to turn it around? I don't think you can.
And the worry that I have right now as well is the fact that with all the space and all the fights that has been going on down bot, is farming too well for Execration. I mean, I know Luna's 30 net worth, but you don't have maxed out Glaives. And I was kind of thinking Luna is a flash farming hero compared to someone like a Phantom Assassin. You have to itemize for that. You need a Battle Fury. But Natsumi's already got 2 components. He's 3, 1, and 6, top of the net worth. And that's not an easy lane versus the Viper. But you see they're able to recognize how can we give Natsumi a good time early. Try and start with the tri lane. They bring the numbers down. Any rotation from Yopaj was to pot. Now with the fact that Luna, lacking levels, went for the build to kind of win the lane instead, might just give them the time for PA that should help that farm.
He didn't even win the lane. That's the downside, right? Bat Rider, he's been able to sit back. He eventually did have a little bit of a rough time at the very beginning, but these team fights did not go the way Execration were thinking. You have to think, you mentioned no TI veterans in the lower side of the bracket, so you have to wonder, are some of these nerves potentially starting to get to the players?
Scanned, so they know they're on the high ground. Got on 2, but the Eclipse as well. Palos down to the southern side, kills off N Ryu. Yopaj is not going to get back to safety. The Viper Strike will tick him through with the poison. I believe Zhao should make it as well.
Oh, he rolling bolted away.
It's a big fight though for Execration. Great scan, scouts out that movement into the triangle. 2 big kills. And also Palos getting some experience as well. So now he's got 2 points in Glaives, and we should start to see his farms skyrocket.
Yeah, for sure. Ara's build been like so far? Just pretty standard Ara build. Hit 2 points into the Leech Seed. He wants to make sure that his presence at a lot of these tri-lanes, these early engagements, is as high as possible. Really big value, doubling the effectiveness from level 1 to level 2. And then it's just all about the living armor. But still, the fact that that tier 1 tower top went down so quickly, they're not going to be feeling too happy about that on Execration.
like that Palos is not opted for the Mask of Madness this game. Feels like that's something we see often just to, again, flash farm, but going for a little bit more of the stat-orientated build, it looks like.
I mean, you mentioned it, like, it doesn't provide any kind of stats, I suppose, and considering the start that both the PA as well as the Void Spirit have had, you just don't want to be this glass cannon. You know, you're the core. If you die, it is a huge deal. It's not like this pos for Enchantress that, well, you're pos for, right? You will eventually have some kind of an impact into it.
By the team, now smoking up Radiant, trying to connect to the triangle because they were aware of the stack, but a little bit too late on that one.
Dire's
Neon,
bottom tower is under attack.
going to be cautious now with the Phantom Assassin positioning, but Natsumi seems like he's pretty aware right now of the
Ciao.
ability. I say that.
See you later.
Not a spot you want to roll into, to say the least. 3 heroes in Execration. They're coming over, though. Want to look to try and get a return kill. Xiaowei,
Oh, they got him!
too, but in the meanwhile, Yopaj is on the prowl. Gets the drag back with the Remnant. Xiaowei still orbs back up. Should be okay here. So they're going to look to turn it back around as they're kiting this further and further back to their side of the map.
Again, they've got the vision, so hopefully Neon look to place down a sentry ward. They know that the smoke was there. They know that the rotation was there. You don't make a 3-man movement like that without placing down some kind of vision.
Meanwhile, with all that time, Luna top of the net worth. That is your Battle Fury completed for Natsumi, and he also has a triple stack at the Ancients. That is a incredible Battle Fury timing. Treads, Orb of Venom, so definitely not naked to say the least. He's only level 9 though, but yeah, we'll see that start to pick up here.
It happens when you're in a tri-lane, right? You're always going to be splitting the experience away with everyone else. So Luna, right now, having a little bit of that XP lead, but that's going to change around massively. Like you mentioned, with that early Battle Fury picked up, they could give him a good amount of solo experience, as I think it's a 4 stack right now of Ancients.
I wonder if they'll make it a 5th before he tries to take that one.
Yeah, and we were talking about in the draft, it's very annoying to be playing against all of this magic damage, so that BKB is queued up already.
Down again, we just see supports running into the land where you really don't want to be. Appreciate to no man's territory being brought down. Okay, Ira does have a smoke, but it's going to be a bit too late. They had a really nice observer ward up top in the lane that scouted out the PA, falling back to the triangle area, and they also knew that he had the Battle Fury. So I thought maybe if they had a smoke, they could have contested it, but just got a little bit too late. They're going to try mid instead. Nice timing. Roll in, kick back. Alice is a little bit too late. Regardless, that beam, not a long enough stun duration. They got the lasso, and Ryu, the perfect
Remnant
target.
Remnant just held him in place there inside the fire, getting hit by the tower. Fantastic play by Yopaj. Costs him both of his astral steps to get away. I mean, it feels like this game, Neon are doing the small things better. You know, Natsumi there was in the blur, farming that big ancient stack. He had 2 heroes moving around beside him, and he actually waited. He stopped. He realized, okay, I've got this experience disadvantage. I need to be a little bit greedy here. I need to make sure I'm taking all of that solo experience away. So he just stood in the blur for a good 5 seconds and said, guys, get the hell away from me. I need to be able to catch up so that I can deal with this Luna later on.
Radiant structures
Clips along with the overgrowth. Double ultimates committed for the kill on Enryu. They will find it as Palos claims that one. 341 gold to the bank there of the Luna, who is officially now top of the net worth.
Pretty early Blink Dagger as well here, picked up by
Radiant's
RR.
bottom tower is under
And
attack.
this is something that Execration have advantage of in their team fight.
Radiant's
The
bottom tower
coil,
has fallen.
magnetize, clips, overgrowth. You take a look at Radiant though, very single target orientated. Void Spirit, pretty much the only one that's going to have that AoE damage. So we've seen time and time again. I mean, these late game fights, I know, well, 16 minutes in, but when it gets to that stage, that's where team fight really starts to shine, unless you can get that pickoff. So Ida did an incredible job last game, but you've got to be careful going head to head versus Execration.
Radiant's
And it's going to be on Zhao once more as well, right? We saw last game, he was able to steal, I believe, 3 different supernovas. He was taking nether toxins. It was a pretty solid performance coming out from him, but this game, there's some even better spells to steal. There's dream coils, there's overgrowth.
Radiant's
What do we feel like the next item Speaking about Gel, where'd he go? Jaunted back to
Just into the cause, you know.
why not? Like, oh, maybe I can trick him. Maybe I can just play my cards here to somehow get away, but not the case. What do we feel like could be the itemization here for R? Because we see he's got that blink. Could it be like a potential solar crest to just buffer Palace as much as possible? Or is it a bit more of a utility item or defensive item, I suppose?
I feel like the Soul Crest is totally fine, right? Because you're eventually going to have to deal with this PA, and that extra armor that it's going to provide is going to be massively useful. Hell, even just having the armor when you're not using it on yourself is going to be great. And then, yeah, having not gone for that Mask of Madness build on Palace, just providing him with that little bit of extra attack speed as well if you were to use it on your own teammate, it's going to be super.
So, another support that's items is starting to progress here is CTM. That's Treads, Dragon Lance, and guess what? When it's not the Ballista, the Dragon Lance, the Grobo can do a decent amount of work here for someone that likes to sit further on the back line. And we saw early on in the game 1 that Spectre Haunt was causing issues for CTM. This time, it's going to be a little bit more different from someone like a Luna.
But you've got a lot more ways now to get on top of CTM as well, even in the early game. Like, your way, he's going to dive in, he's going to use all that magic damage. Still, no point in the Untouchable. Actually, just got 1 point there at level 9. But that Witchblade, in addition to all the magic damage, should be able to take out Scam pretty quickly. Positioning even more important as they make another dive.
EDZ doesn't get the connection without the stuns. Trying to scurry away. Yopaj.
Oh, nice!
I think they're yours timing. Yopaj, can he get away though? Astral Step still could have maybe denied from Roche. Oh my. Maybe they just said Roche instead. It's like, okay, we've got to get some revenge. You killed the Void Spirit. We got to take your life for that.
Sure, you get the assist, you know, if Roche is the one that eventually takes you down, but I guess not. You've got area rotating through as well, though. He has enough money to be able to buy the Blink Dagger, but doesn't have it yet. Trying to save up for that BKB.
Oh, great overgrowth. Hunted 2. They'll kill off the bat. They'll kill off CTM. They see how important this fight needs to be around the Roche pit. Gonna buy back on the Enchantress. I know the ultimates were committed there. So I don't believe Execration can actually stick around for this. And maybe Radiant, if they get some information that Roche is low, they might think about it. But EA still without Destro might be a little bit too hard. They're gonna smoke up though. See the angle BKB, they want to take.
Radiant's middle tower
very early BKB. Alos. Grouped up again on Execration.
Goes into 4.
Look at this art as well. The Earth Spirit, BKB not popped just yet. Natsumi now will do so. And the jump on forward as well. Great ward in the backline. They're going to be able to utilize that for a Phantom Strike target. And Execration have to sound the retreat. He's actually going back in. They caught out Yopaj. Coil drop. He's not down just yet. Halston, they stole the coil. Januel want to steal, locking him in. But Natsumi, he's unable to man fight here with the BKB on Kuda, but it doesn't matter. It's all on Yopaj. The DD still paying off drastically as they get the flame break into the lasso. 5 down on Execration.
Oh, he was playing with fire, you could tell,
middle tower
considering that, you know, the Void Spirit was playing with such little HP, but eventually able to get it back. Too much used in the form of ultimates on either side, to be honest, in that particular team fight. So that might lead Execration to think, all right, well, when we respawn, we might be able to go. No Batrider Lasso available.
Is under attack.
More importantly, just little by little, the net worth increasing for Void Spirit in particular. This Ag Scepter timing is going to be the key moment of importance for him. He's going to get that around the level 15 mark as CTM is in no man's land.
We've seen a couple too many supports dying in a peculiar position. He also bought back as well. Yep, yeah. 70 seconds. It's the health of Roche. It's about 2/3, but probably, I mean, look at the lanes, not in a good spot. And I feel like Execration only went for Roche because they literally got a kill or Roche denied while they were all in there.
Yeah. Not bad though. You've got the Manta style, so he's going to be able to push out that bottom side. Eventually the illusions go away, but mid lane pushed in. Yeah, why not? No lasso, no Enchantress. Roche already kind of weak. Could this be another Yopaj special?
Stole the
know, yes. They do know. They use the illusory orb underneath the Radiant Observer. She's just standing there.
How big is this Aegis going to be now for Execration on the Luna? Do you feel like this is going to allow them to take towers and pressure the PA, who doesn't seem to be online just yet?
Speaking of the PH is getting going on.
I think he's still on cooldown. They're going to be able to find it before a BKB TPL.
Nice BKB.
He's going to stand his ground in man fight. As Pellets for the Eclipse on the backline, but the Overgrowth controlling the Phantom Assassin. He needs to target to Phantom Strike 2. Back to the creeps, but the BKB's now expired. And the rotations, they're a little bit too late. Yuripachi's finally going to show up, but they've lost Natsumi. A drag back with the lasso will claim a kill on the Ursper, but now they don't have the numbers advantage, as CTM will fall as well. And Execration find 3 under the T1 tower, and they smell more blood. No way, Lincoln, and Ryu, he's gonna get caught. 4 down.
This feels like it's just the Yopaj show. He needs to be the one trying to get as much out of this as he can, because you still don't have the value out of the Battle Fury, right? You went for that BKB because you wanted to be able to take these early team fights, and if these team fights aren't going your way, that is a lot of farming capability that you've just passed away. See here, level 18 already on this Luna compared to the 16 on the Phantom Assassin. So that's going to be a big deal. Next key timing, of course, that Desolator. Have to think even with that.
Are they actually going to fight your Posh here? Like, I don't think you're going to be able to kill me, brother. Pretty beefy. You see, Nico's actually kind of switched up build this game. We saw a bit more of the utility. I believe it was a mech into the Lotus as the first 2 items from Nico in game 1. He's gone the Pike into the AC that's queued up here. And we also see the talent, the attack speed. So he's looking to scale a little bit more.
About 2 or so minutes away from Neon's key timings. They're making a smoke play here. Execration side to try and take advantage of that. They're going to get the kickback onto CTM in time, and that Nether Toxin should take him down. You see, not wanting to take the team fight just yet, because again, you're about 800 gold away from Blink Dagger on your Bat Rider. You've now got your Ag Scepter, and I feel like you still need that Desolator on Natsumi. So maybe now, when the Enchantress comes back up, you could be looking to go, but that's going to be into a Luna with Aegis. She's going to have her Eclipse back up in about 10 seconds or so. You've got everything online, and you know, it was a good use of the BKB as well previously by Natsumi to avoid the kickback into the Dream Call stun, but I think that's only about 350 gold away from Yoei having his own Ag Scepter.
He's so farm. 18 as well, Coil's maxed out, and you're always a big fan of highlighting any cute synergies they have team and hero-wise with Coil. They've got the kick at the moment, so it's not something like a mag skewer, for an example, but it could definitely come into play. That is now 2 ultimates that are going to be able to control you through BKB. I mean, Overgrowth is 5 seconds maxed out. Coil is a ridiculous amount with the Aghanims as well. That's 8 seconds. So this BKB on Phantom Assassin, it's, I don't want to say a waste of gold, but it's definitely not going to provide you something that it usually does.
It's been punished heavily. And it's not like your supports are saves either. You know, CTM doesn't want to be in the midst of things with his Nature's Attendants. He's gone this glass cannon build again. Wants to be dishing out damage in his own right. Got the Desolator available. How long left on Aegis? A minute or so. So, see if they look to just give up this tower. Right on forward. It's going to be right.
That's a great BKB. Instantly the puck's gonna get brought down. It's not the start that Execration are looking for. And now with Ruder on the front line, Lasso drags them away, so Januel's gonna be able to keep their life, and Nico's pretty weak. They actually just have to sacrifice Pelos. Or do they? Reset, roll in BDZ. He's just trying to get any attention he can brought on himself so Pelos can get back to safety. But they're retreating underneath the observer ward.
Oh my god, the real one!
Man's up, but it's not enough. Pelos, can he still stand his ground in man fight? He's pretty beefy, but it's not enough. They'll drag him back to his demise. As I say that, Natsumi, he might kick out and he will. The poison attack will claim the kill with the help of the double damage rune. But 4 will fall on Execration. An incredible way for them to take the fight against the Aegis advantage that Daya had.
Get away on RR, but just the small things. Really good positioning by Neon, making sure that they're staying between their tier 2 and tier 3, taking advantage of all that extra armor that standing around that area provides you. And in the end, Yoe, he's been playing a pretty damn good game. That time around, though, he only caught the Rubik inside the Dream Coil, and that was the key difference there.
Now this one, even with the net worth, look, it's just favoring EXECRATION at the moment. Oh, he's thinking about going on RR. Like he's got the damage. No, maybe. That is a fat wave. Looks like he just wants that.
He's a core. He wants the farm.
How do we feel?
Picked up. Astral Step, recharge time chosen. So I think that's going to be the thing. Like, we were talking about it. They're lacking a frontliner. Yopaj is their frontliner. Like, he is putting a lot onto his back. There was a time when Void Spirit was just released where I was like, man, this guy's strength gain is way too high. It's been reduced since then to just 2.6, so that's nice. Now that you're not just this beast that can do everything in the game, but when you've got the item build like he has, you've still got a good amount of HP, survivability in this game, even with all of these silencers and roots that EXECRATION have on their side.
And not just Yopaj as well, with level 20, Natsumi is closing in on that one as well. So eventually the armor corruption. He's also going for an Aghanims as the next item here. Do you like this itemization from the position 1?
Why not? It provides you with a basic dispel, I believe. So that's going to be nice against the overgrowth, not needing to pop the BKB for that.
But the big items we're seeing potentially come out. AC's closing in. Lotus Orb as well from RR is about to be completed. Talos, only one component to the BKB. So do you feel like this might just be a couple of minutes where we'll see either team try and get these items?
Yeah, sit back and farm for the next little bit, I believe. I mean, you've still got a tier 1 tower in the mid lane, so you're feeling a bit more confident about doing it right now on EXECRATION, especially given that you've got a Luna, it's nighttime. I think Neon are totally happy for that to be the status quo. Only 700 gold away from this Ag Scepter. It's going to be a little bit away from Void Spirit's BKB. I don't think you'll have that available by the time this next team fight breaks out, but you will have the 4-star. Actually, no, he's opting to go into the Ag Shard instead. I made a bit of a blunder during our post-game last time, thinking that it was still the old fun one, but now it's just the double flame rings. Boring Dota.
Still rate this Ag Shard though, because I've actually seen it picked up a decent amount. What makes the double flame break so good?
I mean, it means that you can just use it to farm a lot more effectively, right? You can just toss it into a wave with a couple of stacks of the napalm and then just get on out. It's kind of like, what was it? It was AUI that referred to stuff like ghost push, basically.
Regeneration!
Like illusions, or you can use things that allow you to immediately get out of the lane and have a team fight impact, but also change the status of the map.
And with how slow this game is transitioning at the moment, is well, we're actually going to see smoke up. Radiant feel like they're in a position.
He could be baked though.
Showing mid. Lasso. It's actually on the Viper. Able to bring the
Bring that coil though.
Nico's actually still alive. Now with the claw, gotta keep in mind that's the argument. So they're wasting the BKB duration of the Phantom Assassin and Pallet. He's able to stand his ground and right click. Back, but inside the river with the overgrowth, they're controlling 3. They'll bring them both down and they're in trouble. EDZ, one more right click, he'll fall. But still, Neon. You see the BKB piercing stuns. It's kiting them too heavily, in particular the Phantom Assassin in these fights.
Under attack.
Yeah, and they've got the range to be able to just... Trio Protector doesn't want to be right in the middle of the team fight. You've got the Dragon Lance on the Luna, so she could just walk away from where the Dream Coil is, even being able to deal a decent amount of damage, having gone that Aghanim Shard. Natsumi, thankfully for Neon fans, was able to get away on simply 100 HP. Still, another team fight going the way of EXECRATION with Rosharp, that Ag Shard. Who they could give it over to?
Is under attack.
Your way? Just another way to, yeah, maybe just another way to be able to break these Dream Coils?
Yeah, they honestly don't have the greatest shards on their team. With Luna already having one, then... It's the Treants, I don't even know.
I guess it's the stun, I believe. Oh, Root. Instead of my bad.
Into the
Is Nick okay? Nico's actually gonna take it.
I don't hate it.
Don't hate it, but feel like the shard just really gives you power push, that's it.
Yeah, but when you've got a Luna, you've got amazing power push already, so it just turns like, you know, maybe one tower into two, or maybe, you know, a tier 3 tower into a tier 3 tower and racks.
Yeah, and I guess if Radiant don't have buybacks, then that, like, could easily be game. We see what can happen when Luna walks up your high ground with, you know, tier 3 down, just glaives bouncing back and forth, and it's so hard to then get the jump with the just being too disorientated. But I'm gonna take a fight here as they're gonna smoke up. CTM's the target.
Oh no. To be fair, it was a very quick piece. Yeah, just 1 second.
It is. Love the CTM, what he said there. It's just lag sec, even though he knows he's dead. It's just like nothing else to say there.
Glass cannon though. He's got the magic resistance, but I don't think that's going to be saving him. He has enough for buyback. 3 gold away from buyback, so yeah, basically has it.
What do Radiant need to do now, knowing that the Enchantress is going to die? Do you just want to see them try and get to pop and maybe even someone wrap around mid to cut the wave? Do they have to reset maybe for a potential high ground defense? What do you want to see them do here?
Just trying to see, like, did your opponent just TP back to base? Is that what just happened?
Yeah, his TP is on cooldown, 77 seconds.
Yeah, I thought he might be, like, in the process of TPing somewhere, but I can't see anywhere on the map that being lit up by a TP scroll, because he's got the BKB. You know, you could potentially have that turnaround with the Enchantress having the buyback available if they were to use a decent amount to be able to take him out, but it's always so scary fighting into all of this, and the puck even now has the Aeon disc, so that chain lockdown, the silences, it's probably not going to be enough, and you can't even go on the puck with the Batrider lasso anymore. You know, he's going to be able to get away.
Who is the target you want to jump on now? Because, I mean, maybe honestly you actually target Palos when they walk up higher ground, lasso, drag him back under the tier 4 tower. I cannot imagine he's going to survive, although he's goddamn tanky, 3,000 health. It feels like if you're able to kill him super deep and after the respawn, maybe you can kill him a second time. Or do you just want to go on another core instead? I
mean, I feel like you might kill him. You can kill him once, but the second time he's going to be able to get that Eclipse off. You know, to be able to kill him the first time, you'll use all of your CC.
He'll take it. No, there's no way I make it away.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Nice move from Execration. I mean, it is a pick off on a support, but it should be able to transition that to a T2 tower. And I do want to see, maybe Neon can the jump before Execration are ready to ground push. This is something that in that game.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
A prize.
You just saw the Axe shot already, though. You know, that tower had minus 7, 8 armor, I believe. Completely melted to the Luna, and it means they're able to get out. Time for Natsumi? No.
Oh, that was a really cool scan from Execration, but he... Want this wave? Do I want it? No, he's TP's out. But it's either team, you see the high-level plays and just the awareness coming through.
I think it might come down to luck, honestly. Like, do you get some PA crits happening this game? And that's going to be putting even more importance onto this Viper. You know, if you're able to get that Nether Toxin down outside of the VKB, you can't crit anymore. Like, you just can't. The coup de grace is effectively useless.
Not again.
And,
not again. Oh, poor CTM. At this stage, it's just space. They're wanting to waste the ages. There's no tier 2 mid, so I don't believe they lose an objective. Or they feel like this time they can walk up high ground because their lanes are in a much better position than what it was previously. And Neon, they're not in a spot where they can jump up before Execration is set up with this push.
Got another Toxin though on Zhao, which is nice. He needs to make sure that that's connected in onto the Luna so that those glaives aren't bouncing around your base.
should just be a full set now.
Radiant's middle barracks.
Tier 3 down. Lost melee and range soon to fall as well. They're going to jump in. Lasso, great counter initiation with the core. They're not going to be able to drag it back too far.
one.
Deal with the Aegis. And they kill in the second time though. Rolling. It eats the Remnant. And they're not going to drag back Palace before the BKB. Natsume's still looking to jump in. He knows the Radiant's Moral's on cooldown, so he won't be controlled through the magic immunity. They steal the overgrowth as well. Ropage. Magic immune. Also going to jump back in. Can they go here from Neon? CTM back alive. He's outside the base. Again, CTM, his position's going to be careful that the Glaives will rip him apart with the Glaives. The shot from Palace is enough. And our objective base gaming. They're looking for the tier 3 down bot. Neon, hero down. They don't have buybacks.
Very close on the Enchantress.
Rubik's going to fall as well. He doesn't have a buyback either. Execration.
Radiant's bottom
They
barracks.
smell a sense of weakness here. Maybe they're going to hit tier 4 towers. Rubik's going to buy back. Enchantress does as well. Nice awareness from Natsumi. Drags the creep wave into the TP. So they will survive to live another day.
It's looking like a game 3, Aries. I mean, last game did, 90% win probability, but this is 2 lanes of racks. This is a very different situation. You're always going to have lanes pressuring into you. You've even got the double siege creep waves coming now at the 35-minute mark. Bot lane, naturally going to shove in. Someone's going to need to deal with it. It's, Neon, this is the all or nothing play.
Radiant are scanning.
Everyone smokes up. They're going to try and find a pickup. It has to be Palace. It has to be,
Radiant.
but he's got the Satanic.
Should scout this out. They see the Firefly jump in. Nico once again. The Firefly just the target of the lasso. Now team on the backline. Instant brings down the trade protector, but the coral drops and the BKB might be wasted here. Look at the core duration. They're controlling. Great use of the USM with the beams. Natsumi's down and he doesn't have a buyback. It's Execration. They can push on forward. They still don't have the numbers advantage, but they have the raid boss in the Luna. As Palace is too farmed for them to deal with.
It seems like just too much. That was the tipping point. They needed to kill the Luna in that fight. And, well, even now beyond that, I believe she has an E-Blade coming out to her. So just in case the PA is able to get in on top of her, she's not going to care. She's just going to sit back, either E-Blade herself, E-Blade the PA, potentially turn around with all that magic damage you've got on your side. This should be game.
Actually going to try and burst him up. EKB still available, along with 3,900 health here for the Luna. So trying to go through this health pool is going to be very difficult, including the Satanic that's also available in the arsenal from Palos. The BKBs, couple will be committed. Have to look to reset, but the creeps are going to work. Tier 4's unhealable damage here.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Kind of game where you might say, GG, end down mid. Maybe not the GG, but this is C Dota. The CGG is real, and Neon, they're not going to give this one up. No, luck could be on their side.
You saw what could happen last game.
Luna's quick fight. I don't know if you're going to be able to farm enough to be able to pick that one up. Yeah. But it feels like it's your only hope at this point. Maybe... Does anyone have buyback on Neon? That's what I want to know. Yopaj does. I feel like he needs to get out there on the map somehow with a smoke and farm up some of these tier 4 items. Maybe a spell prism, maybe something like that could give them that little bit of edge that they need, because right now it's just a slippery slope that's angling more and more towards Execration.
Yeah, you'll take any little advantage you can get here for Neon. And when you're down this much, I mean, again, we saw what they could do last game. They were down, I believe, a 4-set and ranged racks. As in this game, it's looking more of a challenging feat for them to come back in. But if anyone's able to do it, saw previously, it's maybe Ira are gonna wait for that next Roshan, which could give some space for Natsumi. I mean, still the rapier.
Blessings upon a loyal
It's going to take a little bit too long by the time Roche is up. Maybe they get lucky. Who knows? Could be a super long Roche spawn and they don't kill Natsumi for a couple minutes. We're grasping at things here, but you kind of have to.
He's nearly level 25 though, so he's doing a decent job at farming. He's been able to somehow manage his way into the jungle. Lord Gaber does not give him the RNG for some of these neutral drops. Maybe this camp will do it. Of course not. He giveth, he taketh away.
Sumi's got to be really careful with farming this creep wave. Ooh. Oh my. And this game we've also seen... Oh, that is RR?
A prize.
It's going to pop pretty shortly underneath the observer ward.
Instantly thinks away. Not taking any chances.
Well, they see Yolway under a ward. He's a bit disconnected from the team.
He's got A on disc though. He should be okay. Oh!
Quick jaunt. My lord, so close. Yopaji's got an E-blade queued up. Do you like this? Because it feels like Execration have the immense amount of magical damage.
Yes, but I don't think it's for that. I think it's just burst. They need to take out a target. You can see he's got the Dagons after that queued up. So they just need to absolutely wipe someone out before these key things can come through. You know, maybe it's a silence. Maybe they're trying to get a little bit cute with wanting to save their BKB a little bit longer. And just instantly take out the Luna if you can.
Well, sorry, smoke. See how they can angle direction for this fight. Now navigate through mid.
Natsby's 25. It's got, yeah, look at this. They're going full luck. Not triple star dagger. They just need the extra chance that they're going to get that full 50%.
It's going to get caught by the coil. Oh, Punk. It's on to 3. He just picked up the refresher. We can have a second round with the overgrowth. It's locking them all in place. Alice is able to go to work with the glaives bouncing back and forth. The BKB's expired. And so will the Phantom Assassin's life. Buyback look to rejoin them. He's unable to close the distance fast enough. Neon, they need a reset. But CTM won't be as successful. They're going to try and split away from the team. Asante is there. Natsumi's back in. Keep in mind, the BKB's still on cooldown. Let's see if the coup de grace chance can come into play. Yopaj, easy will fall. The bash is there. Is it enough for them though? They'll bring him down. Yopaj has got no buyback. They still kill at the park. It's up to Palos now. Can you fight the Luna? I don't think you can. But again, this Januel so hard to catch. Should be able to get the jaunt away. He's got orb up in a couple of seconds here. I believe they will not catch him. Ooh. So slow. Of course, maybe into TP. It's being used. There's the E-blade. That was the gem as well.
Middle tower is under
So
attack.
4 down on Neon. Instantly you see Natsumi trying to shove out top. It's the only lane they have to be worried about here. How's his gold looking as well? 3,700 unfortunately because he did buy back.
Yeah, I mean, he needed to do that. He got away at the end. There's no dieback being used, but that Roche is up with the extra refresher shard. Who would you even give this over to? Maybe the Treant Protector, because I feel like the Acceptor came in clutch that fight on the PA, making sure that he was still able to do some damage during that overgrowth, but not with 2. There's only so much you can have. He had a Satanic, I believe, queued up.
Bounty.
Change things up and go into that, or is it not? He's just going full Divine Rapier. Not if this courier dies though with the relic.
Oh,
You can't.
no.
You can't put it onto that high ground after they've just taken Roche. You know that they've been playing in that area. Just send it through the trees. This is a TI2 throwback. HY, stay in the trees.
No, I felt like that was their only hope. We'll see.
Radiant's
We'll
top
see what they
tower
can
is
do,
under
but
attack. Radiant structures
the last full
are
set,
fortified.
more than likely
think they can
going to
hold.
have. I mean, I was going to say maybe they can. They're going to have to go up against Megas without a doubt, but I don't even think Execration care. They can just stick around and get tier 4s after this tower dies. They're even just letting Nico siege out of all heroes. He's got that Hurricane Pike, attack range as well with the talent, Minute of Horn,
Dire's
Ages.
bottom tower
I
is
just
under
feel like
attack.
Luna's unkillable right now.
Alice has been lassoed back into Fountain one time too many. So he's just like, you know what? I'm not even going to be part of this. Maybe now that they've taken out the tier 4 tower and the glaives can bounce.
You still know the Toxin. Did pretty nice here. A hero coil. Who's got to the backline? It's the Bat Rider. Out of all heroes, you needed that lasso flicker. Maybe you're going to be able to come into play here. One more right click. It's enough. It'll bring him down. It does make space though. The Age is going to get claimed. But we saw what the Bat Rider could do for them in the game 1 to bring it back. And without this lasso potential, going to end up losing their full set of racks. Now they have to go up against the Mega Creeps. Yeah,
Against
very
Megas.
soon though.
2 minutes left.
Radiant's top
They
tower.
are got to try and hold out for 2 minutes. 1, Bat Rider will be alive. 2, Courier will respawn with that Sacred Relic. I don't know if they can do it against a Luna.
Radiant's
TM
middle tower has fallen.
not figuring a spot. He needs to get back to safety. They need every hero they can get for this defense, and while they're throwing
He's just ulting the
exposed,
fountain.
they're going to jump in. One more attempt to hold this second game, otherwise we're going to a potential
Hold the
game
clips.
3. At the backline, Natsumi, he's going to do as much as he can. He's targeting RR. Already one overgrowth has been used, so crit down the Tree Protector, but with the BKB on cooldown, the Phantom Assassin will fall. Fire back on CTM, they have to call it quits, as this is what we want. We were wanting a game 3, we're gonna get it.
Gonna get it. This seems a lot more like C Dota as well. About the same number of kills as last game, but 20 minutes shorter. So Execration this time around able to take advantage of that advantage that they had in the, mid game or so, and really stick it to Neon with No, like both of these teams play it perfectly fine. I don't think that can completely take over a game. And if you're going to pick it in the first phase, you can very easily counter it. So much more confident with the Axe. First Spirit coming out, Axe isn't something that Neon have played up until this point, or if they have maybe one time, but it is something that Execration have experimented with a little bit. So much preferring this so far.
About the Wyvern, that was the other consistent first pick, first ban against Execration.
Radiant team.
It's available if they want it.
Late game secured just with one pick.
Oh yeah, so I actually looked up the stats. So I was saying, anecdotally, I feel like Doom is actually one of the best late game carries. It was actually kind of backed up by statistics. In games going over 50 minutes, Doom has probably the highest win rate of any hero with like more than 6 this patch, and he has like a 75% win rate. And so he is quite strong, and now we're seeing the Mirana that you were talking about. Like I said, the meta continues to evolve. Game 3 situation.
10 seconds remaining.
I'm just glad that we get to do something a little different this time around. You know, having, well, like 7 of the same heroes that we saw from game 1 was a little repetitive. Bit different here, going into the Wraith King, huh?
I like the Doom getting picked up because it is something that Nico has shown a lot of prowess on previously for Execration. I was also intrigued coming into it. We've seen Neon's answer to the Viper in both game 1 and game 2. I wanted to see what Execration were going to go with, and completely different route. The thing is though, is that I'm a big fan of having a point target stun in the off lane with the Mirana. See the Sand King, the DK more often. I know Sand King and Denog and I were casting lower division. That was a big fan for some of these teams. Now that DK with the flex potential is having a lot more of that potential to be picked up today. So we'll see how Execration are going to try and draft with maybe a hero for Yowei to get that jump into set up for the arrow now.
Feel confident that they won't give it to a mid Doom? It's still a possibility.
It's a possibility. I could honestly see a Grimstroke coming out as one of their next picks. Something like Grim DK would be a really nice way to have solid frontline, solid lockdown, good team fight, good farming capabilities, good against a lot of the heroes that are currently in the meta right now.
Trying to see how they want to try and ban to protect. Well, then the Wraith King is one of the
Grim was
ways.
necessary.
Yeah. Rid of the Grim. Some of the better matchups as well versus the Wraith King. Arrowblade, Oko taking care of too.
This is much more reasonable. If you want to get rid of the Invoker, get rid of it in the second phase. It's not something that's uncounterable if you pick it first up.
5 seconds.
Execration are choosing to respond to that. I mean, the fact that they don't have a Grimstroke severely limits the Doom's effectiveness, but he's still an A tier hero. He just becomes S when he's got the Grim playing alongside him. Not even just for the Soulbind. Hell, just Inkswell on top of all of your increased movement speed from the Scorched Earth, from your phase boots, from Dooms get additional movement items on top of that. It's just way too much to deal with.
How do we feel about this Wraith King? It's a hero that I don't think has shown up very much in Southeast Asia during these TI and qualifiers. Natsumi favorite during the DPC, like doing all large Sand Kings stuff and doing weird pairings with it. But the hero has kind of fallen off in popularity as Execration.
This is just much more of a normal draft, you know? None of this crazy stuff coming out of left field. I like the Lion. I was thinking that they were, I know it's only a pos 4, but they were lacking something that was going to be able to deal with this Mirana, right? You've got the Wraith Fire Blast, which is going to move very slowly, doesn't allow you that instant lockdown. Spawn with a Lifestealer, huh? I mean, it's decent against high HP targets, I suppose, but...
Banned out Razor, though.
Yeah.
Want to send the Viper mid or just have Razor in the game, period.
10 seconds remaining.
Does look like a...
I would just...
5 seconds
Would you
remaining.
hate to see Viper on your page though, Ares? Like,
I don't want to see
it just
that
doesn't feel like his hero.
It's 100% Enry. I really do not want to see your page play that Viper.
Oh god, it's happening. It's happening. The worst case scenario.
They do quite the hero though to go versus the lifesteal. The lane's going to play pretty well. You've got the amp as well. Doom doesn't have high amount of armor. Now increase your Roshan taking potential with that Slaughter. it's a bit more on the
5
physical
seconds
route though,
remaining.
so we have to keep in mind this Wyvern looks beautiful this game. You've got a curse to set up for the arrow. You now have the
Radiant
capability
team
to
back.
keep someone alive with the embrace. So
Dire
doubling
team
down on
back.
lanes, which we've seen a lot of priority on so far in this series. All eyes on how they want to ban, because Execration, they need an Infest carrier, some Spirit-esque hero for Yowei mid.
And they also, you saw how quickly that Razor ban came at it. I felt like it was kind of a,
10
holy crap, they didn't
seconds
pick the Razor. Let's make sure we get rid of it right now. But, I mean, this is Neon we're talking
5
about.
seconds
Maybe
remaining.
this could be a Slardar not in an off-lane role. It could be something super
Radiant
unconventional.
team back.
You never know. Like,
It's
if there was
Slardar
any
versus
team to
Doom.
do it,
Dire team pick.
yeah, I was thinking like a 5 Slardar, just
Okay,
for something
we're
completely
going.
out of left field.
Well, I mean, if anything else, it's probably going to be John Well on the Viper. So support Viper, and they're going to look for a now. And
Yeah.
Execration are going both ways. They ban out a Razor in case it was a mid lane Viper. They ban out an Ancient Apparition
Radiant team pick.
to support Viper.
Lena.
This doesn't tell
Don't
me
show too
anything.
much, yeah. Yep, perfect.
This tells me nothing.
That was kind of the issue, is that they didn't have this 24th pick. So going for someone that's incredibly flexible, they needed burst potential, they needed kind of a stun as well. And like we highlighted, you don't want to show
10
where your lanes are going to be,
seconds
what heroes you're playing. I don't hate the lane.
If it's not a mid
5
Lena, though, I
seconds
feel like
remaining.
Slardar is kind of useless because it's taking advantage of Corrosive Haze besides Wraith Bang. It's like the only physical damage that you have. Lena these days,
Yeah.
we see with these dataless pickups, they become incredibly competent right clickers, but only if they're given mid lane farm.
It's even like, it's not even a good Yule Scepter game. You kind of need it just for the mana regeneration, but I feel like you don't even need that setup. You can just go super early into the right-click style build. BKB is going to be kind of pointless against a Doom and a Wyvern.
I'm trying to think of what hero they can go here for Yowei. Like Ember's standing out. I'm not a huge fan of Storm into Lena, because if you do go yours, you offer a lot more catch. I think Ember's a little bit more difficult to get that initial jump on before Lion gets blink. They just have to get away now to get on the Lena, get on the Lion instantly, even the Viper as well if you can bring down. I'm trying to think of some heroes
What
that
about
feel that.
Death Prophet or something like that? Does decently in laning stage. You're going to have high HP targets to be able to Spirit
Choose your
Siphon.
hero.
And a Lesh instead. Something else that's gonna... Oh, I'm keen to see how, like... The thing that I really like about Execration's cores is that they play a lot for each other. And I feel like we're going to see many times where Palace is going to be infesting Yowei just to make sure they get that extra little burst of HP coming through in the middle of these team fights and allowing that to take it through. And, I mean, I know we've been with you, Aries, this entire time, and Tsunami, of course, joining us, but we've got Cinderin as well joining us on BDZ's Mirana with the set that he's got.
Oh, he has,
I saw
he
that.
has the Sind mount. Okay, be sure to tell Pythian to give me a showcase view on that one, because I'm very curious to
Oh,
see
we
it in
will.
game. And my favorite pairing, not even beyond the
10
Mirana,
seconds
Wyvern
remaining.
and Leshrac have been my favorite two, or rather, Leshrac is my favorite Wyvern pairing, because I don't think there are many other cores that can deal damage while Cold Embrace. Pretty much just like Death Prophet with Exorcism and Leshrac with Edict and Pulse Note. So with all of this physical damage on Neon, I feel like they're not going to be able to have the resources necessary to penetrate the Cold Embrace, and look at that beautiful count.
Oh.
Work of art.
Like you were calling for the Death Prophet with this last pick, and I feel like the Leshrac can kind of fulfill that role with taking towers, because they didn't have the greatest way previously with the Lifestealer, but I'm a bit worried that they might not jump Opage. So if Lena gets ultra fat with Corrosive Haze, the Amp U with MKB potentially, then it could be a scary prospect. But Eco Doom, which is something that I'm always a big fan on as well. So again, it's another draft where I'm kind of 50-50 here.
This is a Doom that has value, because really the only thing he needs to worry about is dooming the Lena. No one else really cares, and Lena hates having to be doomed if she's going to be the right-clicking souls. At least we've got different heroes all across the board. Viper may be the only mainstay, but it's going to be a different Viper. Support Viper. Seeing how it all goes down. Elimination on the line. Winner moves forward. Loser is out of contention for the International 10.
Prepare for
Go
battle.
ahead and take it away, Diana Ares.
Tsunami, like you said, winner gonna move on. They will face Boom Esports or Galaxy Racer. We are yet to have that series. In fact, that one is going to be up after this.
A long way.
What a series we have. Game 3 on the line. Denog, we've seen previously in both games, it's been EXECRATION who've been the one to have an early advantage in these games. Do we feel like that's going to be the same case here in this third game?
Well, OB Neon are trying to make sure that that doesn't happen. Full 5-man smoke. They realize the importance of being able to take this key advantage. They're going to walk into this ward, though, CTM. They place it down. It's completely scouted out, so more gold going over the way of Yoe. I wonder if he's going to give the sentry ward over and maybe allow him to just get that little bit of extra experience, or if it could just be looking to go over to BDZ. It's going to be very important for him to pick up that level 2 as quickly as possible, considering you are against the POS 5 Viper.
Before we see that ward actually get E-warded, it's a pretty cool ward. Is that new? One of the Dire Observer? I don't think I've seen that before.
Yeah, it's the Battle Pass one.
Ah, okay. Makes sense. All-seeing eye dogs.
The battle begins.
Like in cinema. I feel like that's one thing that we don't have too much of, like some really cool ward cosmetic.
I'm still using like some sort of fish one, I think. I don't know. But with that, I actually like even the small things. Like BDZ made sure to shoot that arrow first onto the high ground. It did end up scouting out the Wraith King, so they were thinking, maybe this is mind games. Maybe they're just like, oh, that's the reason why it might be warded, not because we had our observer ward down first. So maybe that'll save that ward on the top side.
Oh, it's another Viper game and another tri-lane. Even though Viper is as a 5, EXECRATION bringing the aggressive tri-lane with Palos, BDZ, and RR. I want to ask, yes, South America are one of the better regions to play this Viper as a position 5. Do we see Southeast Asia do it at all?
I mean, you don't want to say they do it at all, but it's certainly not to the same level of effectiveness. It just seems like an SA staple. It's going to be good at bullying out this Mirana, but actually they get the stun in onto CTM.
More than likely your first blood.
Can
I get both Horus here too? Januel and Lion losing their choreo and losing their life as well on CTM.
Start you wanted, at least Natsumi was farming away, getting that solo experience in lane, but that's not the trade that you want to give up for it.
We got a second in that tri-lane. How do we feel like this mid matchup's going to fare? The Leshrac versus the Lina, both heroes that deal an incredible amount of magical damage early.
Yes, but the thing is, it severely, with this Lesh pick, hinders the Yopage's ability to make these rotations early on and secure Neon's early game, because you leave that lane, and if the wave is anywhere near, like, mid-wave pushed, or even, you know, heaven forbid, closer towards your tower, you can take a lot of damage to your tier 1, and you know that this is Natsumi who is going to be wanting to farm. I don't think this is the sort of game where you go into something like an Armor.
And then down bot, we have this solo matchup. Enryu, Nico. Feels like it's a pretty good lane for Enryu. I mean, any melee matchup, boom. His armor's a lot better now with that recent change. He's got 5 base armor, so we'll see how that's going to come into play here. Zhao, oh, he eats the arrow. Another one on the mark here for BDZ. Looks like Januel is going to be able to make it back underneath the tier 1 tower.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Gets the return kill on the courier, very nicely done. Still level 1 though on BDZ, so he has to be careful with how far forward he's extending himself here. I think the story of this game is how much faith OB Neon are putting into their newest recruit, Enryu, because taking out this Wyvern at the start of team fights is going to be, I don't want to say their win condition, but it's going to heavily tilt things in their favor if they're able to remove that factor from the equation, considering all the right-click damage that they have. Natsumi, Slardar, you've got the Lina as well, who's more likely being into the right-click build. Still going to go the Yule Scepter, but still, you'd need to transition into being that right-clicking core if you've got all of this minus armor, and if you want to stay relevant into the later stages of the game.
That arrow, the marquee early, BDZ, if he can continue some of these arrows hitting the mark, then that could be a good sign for what we're going to see as this game moves on forward. But how do we feel like this tri-lane is faring up? Is there a team that is getting the advantage at the moment?
I mean, I feel like you're reasonably happy with this on side, just because, I mean, Mirana's one of those heroes that needs a lot more levels to be able to do what she does. Whereas, you know, with the Viper, all you really need is the 1 point in the Nether Toxin, and you can bully people out quite easily. You can even, you know, shove out creep waves. You can see he's getting a nice pull happening here. So as long as this creep wave continues to stay around this dire tier 1 tower, I think Natsumi is going to be totally fine with how this is panning out.
He's 24 losses at the moment. Racer along with the chainmail, recognizing that he's going to need these stats to keep himself in the aggressive lane that we have. It'll be a lot of action at the moment, and already we're seeing a lot of the stacks as well in the jungle. Heroes like Fleshtrack, Lina, there's a double at the Ancients for Radiant, double at the Hard as well, and I believe for Dire, just have double at the medium by the Outpost here. So not as much emphasis for Yopaj, but another thing is the fact that they actually blocked out the small camp here against Lina. This is something that we saw a lot of emphasis on in previous games against the Enchantress, just to take away her effect. Yopaj on the Lina, this is a hero that very much thrives on shoving up the lane, going back, arming up the jungle, especially that small. So nice awareness from Execration.
Anything, I mean, it's so hard to do it right because you've been in this tri-lane and you don't have a ton of levels.
Nico, she's gonna force the solo matchup. It is not going well. 24 to 13. It's level 6 now as well. And coming back into this lane, it's actually so difficult. You've got minus 10 armor. It's mid, Ropaj, feeling incredibly low. And very nice. Oh, CTM. What a timing on the TP. They line up for the double.
That's the sort of play that can completely turn things around. I was thinking, because of the lower levels as a result of this tri-lane, that, you know, you wouldn't be able to make this rotation towards the mid lane on CTM to try and kill Yowei, who had just TP back to the lane. So if you kill him off, that's a lot of his time not being used. They did a good job of being able to block up this small camp and would have brought Yopaj back into this game, because still, right now, he's sitting towards the bottom of the network.
Yeah, should fall mid. Slow thanks to the Burn, extra level in it, sets up for the arrow. And nice rotation as well. They've got a catapult wave, but Yopaj is just going to turn. Drops the Laguna. Though it's incredibly difficult to bring down thanks to the one charges, but will still fall nonetheless. Another rotation from the support, Jean Yuel getting involved to kill the Mirana.
That is kind of busted though, that the Diabolic Edict continues after you're dead. So this tower is basically half HP already, less than half HP, because of that siege creep. So good recognition of that by OB Neon to be able to rotate through and make sure that you're not losing a ton of your map control this early.
No.
That could have been completely different as well. The fact they had double bounty for Yopaj to be able to refill up before, you know, that Lion TP in just to keep his life. It was the 3-minute bounty was still there, and the 6-minute bounty was just coming up. So Yopaj was actually able to still stay in the lane. And if he wasn't there, that's potentially killing a support into the tower. Just the beautiful movement from Execration, bringing the supports with that catapult timing, 2 points in the Edict. It could have been disastrous early for Neon. We stand.
He's here on the bottom side. He's had to walk all the way down here to make sure he's not giving away his TP scroll. That's one thing Neon really like to do. They like to place these deep observer wards either behind or right in front of tier 1 towers so that they know when they can make their more aggressive rotations. And with this one here, that's why they're not just getting right up in there, hitting the tier 1 tower. The siege creep's going to die because of it, but better the siege creep die than you.
Seem like at the moment the tri-lane, of course, is crumbled with all the emphasis that we've seen on mid, and now some of the emphasis put on bot as well. Nico is going to go for this Midas build, but Neon, they've got their sights on the stacks. Triangle is Yopaj with that haste. Yeah, he wants to just try and maybe see if we get a kill, maybe even as well.
Yeah, he took the 3 big creeps of all those 3 different stacks there, so nicely done. Even gets an observer ward. Well, not going his way. Zhao's going to pick up the gold, and looking nice. He's got a fluffy hat coming out to him as well. You know that that's the real meta.
When they use this first Doom. More difficult on a hero like Natsumi. Well, in fact, they don't need it because Yahweh has got plenty of damage and also plenty of mana left in the tank to man-fight here for the turn. Connie Brook, not enough. First potential coming through thanks to the Laguna Blade, but there's the Doom. Onto the Lina, but where are the stuns? Moving incredibly fast. Thanks to the Fury Soul, 2 points along with the Wind Wave. So Lina makes it back to safety. We'll end up losing CTM though.
CTM kind of interesting because he had a tango left. He could have gotten underneath the tower. Maybe if they dived in super far, maybe gone for a turnaround. But with that Doom still having the lingering effects of it, not feeling confident and not wanting to even put Yopaj in any kind of risk of going down.
That's an incredible play from Neon actually. Like if you lose Natsumi twice there, they would have then taken the T1 tower top. It made it much more difficult for him to farm in the jungle. And now you see where the cores are playing just opposite sides of the map. Xiao will fall top, just trying to soak up whatever experience he can at the moment. But an incredible TP. Wraith King goes bot, takes that tier 1 tower. Now he's got more camps to play with, and naturally the Wraith King is someone who wants to be playing around this bottom side of the map, around the triangle camps as well because of the Ancient. So love the play from Neon.
Yeah, and good warning as well, right? They're setting up this observer vision to make sure that all of the different Wraith King skeletons are going to continuously push forward. They're always going to start running down towards the lane, but if there's neutral creeps to hit, they'll divert to get that, and it just speeds up your farming efficiency by an incredible amount. We'll still end up losing the top tower, but I feel like if you're trading against a Leshrac, you're more than happy.
Without a doubt. You also see that Ryu's about to have a blink completed, is top of the net worth. There's going to be a bit of a timing here for Neon with this blink where they can get active, knowing that, I mean, Doom's going Midas, so looking to scale a lot more into this late game. All eyes on how Neon want to try and utilize this blink here, because they've got a lot of pick-off capabilities. You can run a duo with either the Slardar Lion, Slardar Lina, even kind of the Viper as well. There's a lot of pairings they can have right now on the side of Dire.
I mean, he's feeling real confident. He walked right underneath that outpost so they could see where he was, walked into the lane next to the tier 2 tower. He is far away from the rest of his team, and he does not have ultimate.
And in fact, he just gets the arrow. Natsumi will fall. That's a big kill to pick up. His first death of the game. And the Wraith King was starting to get a bit out of hand if he was able to continue with that steroid thanks to the Skellies. But now it gives Lifestealer a little bit of time to catch up. This is the armlet completed here for Palos.
Yeah, he's the one that needs to be farming super early on, joining a lot of these fights. Of course, with the BDZ Mirana, he's already got the Spirit Vessel halfway towards the Spirit Vessel.
Oh, Lifestealer gets ripped apart. What's the parent?
Early blink tag coming out.
Still sticking around though.
His team on his back.
Uh-oh. Stays too long. Wins out on Nico. Maybe CTM can get another
saving
Ravage.
CTM.
Yeah, I don't think so at all. They even get the curse. So even CTM is going to end up falling here. Nice rotation from Execration. And you lose Palos, but you get some revenge as Nico picks up a double.
Little mistakes. I mean, CTM, unnecessary death. Natsumi before probably shouldn't have died. You know, they hadn't shown themselves on the map in quite a while. You'd given them all the information you could possibly need in the world, and I mean, you had an observer ward, right? And Arrow is a pretty slow-moving stun. He could have sidestepped that. Maybe it would have given his team enough time to rotate down and save him, but going to be the case. Taking this ancient stack. BDZ's going to scout it out, though.
They might try and kill ADZ though.
Shadows take
Beneath that observe ward, maybe Nico bot.
We see.
Moonlight Shadow used while people were in vision of creep waves and observer wards, so always having to be quite careful about that. CTM is going to walk on forward a little bit.
For the hunt.
Hoping he was coming there because of that more recent observer ward placed by BDZ, but this is the way that Execration like to play. In the first, 12 to 17 minutes, they put all of their vision in aggressive spots, especially against teams that like to make these 5-man rotations like Neon.
Yopaj was going to try and drop the LSA after the duels. Seeing these games start to slow down though, as soon as I say that. Neon, they're going to smoke up and head to the top side here, trying to catch up Palos as Lifestealer.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
It's just all about enabling your cores to continue on farming. You've got a Doom with a Midas, so you need to make sure that he, is able to take maximum advantage of that. You can never die with both the Devour and Midas on cooldowns.
And Ryu found the Wyvern. Bit of an easier target with the Mirana's capability to escape. Great curse, locks in all four. RR, 2 curses in a row on CTM is... Why is he using them on me? But kills, you're happy with that. It also is a smoke for nothing down bot though. You go. Trouble. Starting to swing down to help out. He's gonna even have to drop the Doom as well, Januel, a little bit too late.
Gonna continue?
Now that the sprint's expired, so Slider is gonna run himself back to safety. But Neon, they don't have any more rotations. It's just Yao that can try and protect the Slider through the Doom, and he's gonna be able to do so at a high extent. So find a 1-for-1. You're happy with that. The Doom used for a position 5 death.
Value. That is such great value right there, and even with that kill, he's going to bring himself closer to finishing up the Force Staff. Fantastic against the Doom, just getting away from the Leshrac as well.
How do we feel like either team is wanting this game to go? Like, is one team happy with this slow status quo that we have at the moment?
Well, I mean, you have to think Neon, right? Because they have the Relic picked up, not quite finished into the Radiance just yet, but that's a farming item. It's good against the likes of Doom. It's okay against the Lifestealer, but I mean, realistically, that is what you're
going to jump in, Yahweh. Rules defensively, they're going to have to try and turn to deal with RR, and the Laguna Blade will cut him down. So wanting a little bit of revenge, unfortunately, there's no more backup.
Radiant's middle tower.
Fortunate there, the Wyvern was about 2 seconds off having that Winter's Curse available. Could have seen a third good one in a row. They do still save their tier 1 tower though. The use of all of that lane shove, making sure that the siege creep wasn't a factor. BKB on Yonpaj, okay, kind of forcing them to use the Doom into him. Make sure that they're limiting his impact.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
We actually... That's if we got the tower still. There was a couple of heroes nearby. They're just, I'm not going to deny it. What's this Wyvern set to? Is that another one of the new ones from the...
Then
Sure is. Yeah.
That is
I use the wings. I keep the old helmet is still good for me.
awesome looking Wyvern. My dude just powerful as anything. Ryu?
And Ryu is going to show on this bot side. It's under the cover of the smoke and the Moonlight Shadow, but he's hiding. He's hiding.
So
The Spidey senses.
Now this
I'm
is
liking this Ags purchase as well, by the way, for Slada. He's still a fair way away, but it's going to be nice. Slada.
What do you feel like is, why do you like the arguments here on Slada?
I mean, you just need to be able to stay on top of the Leshrac as much as possible, right? And it's going to allow you to do that with all of the status resist, magic resist that's provided from it.
Is it? I don't know if it gives magic resist. I think regen armor and
the status though.
That's also another big timing is the Radiance pickup from Natsumi. So we might actually see Neon a little bit more active here. He's also got an extra point in the reincarnation.
That'd be nice. Means that maybe he could farm a little bit more aggressively with the only the 2 minutes on the reincarnation as opposed to the 3.5.
Radiance.
Lucky they're going to get with some of these neutrals as well. I mean, they've been a bit more jungle-centric, as you do on the Dire side, which means that they've been able to pick up a few more of those tier 2 items. No, they're going to be praying for that Paladin Sword, of course, already having the lifesteal and building into the Sage next. And well, you've even got your full skeleton army with no glyph available. Actually, just pop, sorry. That siege creep, even on 7 HP. Doing a lot of work towards this bot side. Zhao just placed behind him. The Force Staff at the ready.
Get hit fast enough though. The tower's falling pretty low. Jimmy's got backup. How do they start the fight here? Leading forward once, Nico, Blink, and Ryu. Great Rapado with his crush. The curse instantly.
He's tanky though.
sets up for the arrow and the split earth onto both. CTM hasn't been able to line up an incredible earth spike. It's a lose the reincarnation, and it's a chance right now from Neon. The Infest is out for the bonus health. Nico, he's still got the Doom as well. They don't even need it for this team fight. He's going to be able to find the Wraith King to the northern side, and Yopaj, there's the Doom. It'll come into play to cancel the TP. 4 down and no casualties for the Radiant lineup.
It's just these tiny things changing things around. The Force Staff was used, actually pushed him down into the trees, not able to get away just in time. It was a good 2 or 3 man slithering crush coming through, but just the follow-up, it allows you to set up so easily for that Leshrac stun, especially if it's onto these 2 heroes that still can take a lot of magic damage in the Slardar and the Wraith King. Saw there, like Tsunami was highlighting it before. They tried to put all the burst in onto Yoe, doesn't matter. You've got your Pulse Nova still going, you've got your Edict still going, Cold Embrace is leveled up to maximum, he's got the Holy Locket and the Infest Bomb as well, able to keep him perfectly healthy. So again, Wyvern has to die, and I feel like you can't just turn around and expect to kill the Leshrac in a fight like that when you don't have full information and understanding of the team's rotations.
And it doesn't feel like Wyvern's going to die through the Slardar jump. I think they need another blink, and I mean, you see Natsumi has it queued up after the Sunge, but this is going to give Execration a decent window here where the Wyvern should be very difficult to bring down.
He's going to go and blink himself just to make sure that he can stay completely away from all of these team fights. That's his job. It's basically when these BKBs start to come out for Neon, he needs to be able to blink in, use the Winter's Curse after the BKB's been used to essentially nullify it. Or if the Leshrac, maybe the Doom, are getting jumped on and a lot of spells pumped into them, just use your Cold Embrace, jump in to save them without any risk of yourself dying.
Is under attack.
We'll get their tier 2 though.
Execration might look to try and start control the top side here as Nico would just complete the BKB, top of the net worth on the Doom, even though that laning stage didn't go as well as what you would be hoping Nico here. So he's going to have a lot of impact in this elimination game.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
How they're going to deal with this overwhelming threat that seems to have come. I mean, the Leshrac hasn't had the most amazing game by any stretch, but you've still been able to pick up your Eternal Shroud in combination together with the Yule Scepter, and you've got the supporting cast to enable you. I think Yoe's game is going to be just fine, even though he's sitting 5th on the net worth.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Closest Palace.
You're like,
Scotty.
He's about halfway there. Yeah, I feel like Enryu, they're going to feel a lot more confident with making these aggressive movements when the BKB is up on Enryu. They're going to make the movement anyway, but I feel like it's more of a forced response as opposed to something that they actually want to do.
Dire are scanning.
It's the Radiance off. Natsumi not wanting to reveal anything about his positioning. Luckily enough, it's a GD.
It might be a bit greedy. Oh, they give it to Yopaj actually.
They saw. It was underneath the observer ward as well, so they knew that they were in the area. Good quick response coming up from Palace there.
We have Lena as well building into this machine gun sort of build. Yule's BKB, the boots to travel into the Dragonlance next is also going for that damage talent as well, so we'll see. Aim can continue on for Yopaj, could be a little bit too much damage for Execration to deal with unless they can jump and catch her on the backline.
Still though, the Cold Embrace is just going to nullify everything. I'm going to keep saying it until the cows come home. RR needs to die if Neon have any kind of chance of winning a lot of these team fights. Or he needs to be in a terrible position. But I feel like he's shown that that's not going to be the case for him. Roche would help though. Lines drawn though on the minimap. Woke up just from 2, I believe. Nico and Yoe the only ones caught underneath it.
Radiant's top tower is under
he's
attack.
actually going.
They're on this observer ward.
Thought it was happening already. He backpacked his infused raindrops wanting to go for the snatch.
Slow on this one down. I mean, we've had some crazy game 1 and game 2s. Now,
Radiant's top tower is
elimination
under
match
attack.
again. They're just gonna play this one a little bit more slow here. 21 kills, about to be 24 minutes into it.
You can feel the nerves, right? Like, normally, if this was a pub game, you would be sitting back on your slider, comfortably farming up the rest of your BKB. He's not that far away. He's only about 1,500 gold away or so. But just the threat of losing the Aegis and that being the reason that you don't make it to TI is so scary for these players.
Stakes are so high. I mean, one mistake
Double
could
damage.
turn this game around just completely. I mean, it's a 2,000 lead, but it really doesn't feel much in it at the moment. And my eyes are on if Natsumi, if he can get this extra level in the reincarnation before our fight breaks out. I mean, he's about 17 and a quarter at the moment. And EXECRATION, you could see them attempt to smoke previously. But in fact, it's Neon moving up aggressive right now. Top Natsumi, they found the target. You were highlighting the Wyvern, but there's no follow-up. And Ryu is not nearby. You're unable to deal with the Wyvern to start. Nico, great BKB. Assassinates CTM. He's too far away from the team. They're still going to try playing around the high ground. They're going to be careful. Going on top of the left track, that's so difficult because you've got the Wyvern and the Infest bonus health as well. And they buy back on CTM for EXECRATION. They're happy with that. You get the kill, you force the buyback, they'll reset. They will look to force Roshan. I believe the Kings are coming out though. They'll even scout with the arrow.
The arrow? I believe it was just the one BKB popped. They didn't use it on the Slider, they didn't use it on the Lina. It was used on Doom. So be a little bit careful for that. Not that they have a crap load of lockdown already. It's kind of slow lockdown, right? Until at least CTM has his Blink Dagger, but he's still a mile away.
And we just back to the farm game. Slow it down. How is the live stealer going? And how do we feel like Palace is going to fare as well as this one goes towards the late stage? Hold that thought.
Found the Wyvern. Do they have the instant lockdown?
It's not there though. Finger of Death, they'll try it. Earthspike is low. And it's the only one because of the rage protection from Palos. He's able to get the curse off. He might still tick off to the Viper strike. He will. But Enryu, one more right click and he get to safety. He's so low. Double leap beaties. He will find him. They'll kill off the starter, so we're 1 for 1. They're gonna buy back on the Wyvern. They want to try and heavily commit for the fight. Yopaj, Laguna, Blade, Palace. He's so far away from the rest of the team. Infest, great use of that. Dodges the Wraith Fire Blast, and he's okay.
A couple of times now where the Wyvern has actually been caught out in an inopportune position, but it's the rest of the team not there to be able to punish it.
Are fortified.
We're not on the same page here for Neon, it looks like. This is T2 Tower. It's gonna end up falling. Palace has got the Scardy. Estrak has almost got the Sunjin Kaya. Nico as well.
Gives them the Roche control.
Yep, that it does. With Outposts, it's gonna make it very, very easy now for them to control this top side.
You mentioned before about the importance of having like the level 18 on Natsumi before they took that encounter. I get it, you know, you want to make sure that you've got the reincarnation being only on the 40-second cooldown, but I feel like it only really has its maximum effectiveness when you've got it and you have buyback, because you're up against a Leshrac, you're up against a Lifestealer. Oh, actually they get that's a huge kill. Enormous. That is going to open up Roche for them. You know that the Wyvern can't take this team fight, and they're instantly just going to book it for them. I was not watching that. What is he doing around that area without buyback?
Yeah, the Lifestealer is there with him as well, but it's just... I'm not sure what he was trying to do position-wise. Maybe D-Ward, but...
You got to let the Mirana do that, you know? You've got links, you've got buyback.
Coming over. Arrows out. Oh, just misses Natsumi. Great job. But now there's no Wyvern to be able to protect your way. They need the defense. But Palace, he's running head fast on top of the backline. Lina is protected. BKB out of the Doom, so they don't have to worry about that. They need to worry about the Lash. And she's down out of the count. So is the Doom as well. Aegis is going to get picked up. Palace!
Oh, It's got it.
Steals it, but I don't know if it's gonna matter. They'll kill him off the once, and they should be able to do it a second time as well. The rage is available. LSA timing a little bit too late, but he can't TP out because he has to go up against the Bastions.
Oh,
The leap, he doesn't have any more though. EDZ is the one leap enough. It is. Okay, Palace snags the Aegis and gets away with his life. A strong fight for Neon.
Strong fight for Neon. Still very important the fact that you were able to take that away from the Leshrac in particular. One of the best users of the Aegis in the entire game. They don't get it for themselves, but they save absolute disaster by taking out that, immediately pushing the event.
Put that ground there.
Yeah, you just emphasis that they have. That hero's down. They
You know, it's something that's still able to do damage through that cold embrace, and he's about to reach level 20, so he could opt to go into that plus 30 attack damage, attack speed, fiery soul per stack strat. It's kind of like facing up against a Wind Ranger, you know, that's focus firing you. You're still gonna die within the cold embrace. Maybe not now with this whole Holy Locket bullshit, but you know, it's still a very scary prospect to be going up against if you're already low.
wonder if any of those neutral items could come into play as this game goes later on as well here for Yopaj. You know, we've seen already 60-minute game one. Ballista is a big factor there to help out with that CTM Enchantress. I know we're only 30 minutes in, of course. Who knows if we're ever going to make it to that stage, but you know, it's always a nice thing to highlight. Maybe these tier 4 neutral items could help out in 7 minutes.
533 movement speed now, by the way, on our Lina.
Oh, so scary. You've got War Stomp on Doom, but what's that? 2 seconds plus the point, so 2.6 with the Infernal Blade as well. I don't know if that's enough. You need more of a follow-up.
Or CTM, he's still level 11. That is not ideal. You know, you want those 2 points at least into your ultimate. This could be a huge fight.
What's the follow? And Ryu's going to be able to provide it. Nico, crit counter initiation now with the cold embrace. They keep Aura alive, and they're beating down on top of the starter. He's going to end up falling just before
Finally
the
get it.
No, Nico as well. It's out, but it's still going to cost him his life. Here's the last couple of right clicks up turn. Powers stunned up. Natsumi, his hot pursuit. He's down his target. He's trying to lock on top of it, but they don't have the control, so instead they'll just turn. Leshrac, no man's land, stuck out on top of the river. BDZ pellets, they just have to retreat away. Cut their losses, they will. That cost them the Leshrac as Yowei down and out of the count. 70 seconds on the deck.
Boy, again, like, I was like, how is Wyvern not dying? He's sitting on like 100 HP for so long. Even all of that damage coming through from the Lina wasn't enough to do it, but eventually the stragglers arrive. CTM, he's going to go towards this top side of the map. make sure that like he can't impact this tower push. He needs to get that level 2 on his ultimate so that he can have a bit more of a presence in these team fights at more regularity.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
A tier 2 slither of health. But now, still, I mean, it's a net worth lead for Execration, but you see how strong Neon are feeling right now these past couple of minutes.
This is top 4 we're talking about here. Top 4 in the C qualifiers that they're playing for. Going up against either Boom or Galaxy Racer, who will be next series, I believe, that's being cast on this channel. And then the winner of both of these series will be playing the 3rd game of the day. So it's a lot of Dota. I mean, can you imagine playing one of these series, let alone 2 of them? Like, these players, I don't want to say would be mentally done, but this is exhausting, right? You could grind out 10 pubs a day and not be as tired as you would be after just one of these series.
Yeah, the emotional toll that a series like this will have on the players, but it's so incredibly worth it. You can't even put it into words on what a tournament like the International can give one of these players. $40 million potentially, 2 qualification spots for Southeast Asia as the smoke up. And like Shadow actually,
He's first.
Radiant's top tower is
not
under
really
attack.
an easy target to jump on though. AC
No.
picked up 2,800 health, 23 Wraith King, 3 Incarnation.
Yep. They were trying to make a bit of a play for the backlines, but they have no vision. And, I mean, let's see who's carrying the vision. It's mostly on the Wyvern. And we've seen time and time again, he cannot be going first into these, you know, enemy bottlenecks when you don't know where the enemy team is. So he's having to play super defensively. I would want to give over that Observer Ward to the Miranda, just so that you can potentially get something super deep up. Got the buyback, got much more escape potential than a Wyvern does. And the team fight doesn't crumble if a Miranda dies. It does if the Wyvern does.
Are there any items that we're about to see picked up? In fact, Yopaj just gets the MKB. What about Radiant though? Plus AC. Okay.
Double damage.
It's going to be nice.
Well,
Having that extra minus armor. And it's, again, it's just going to be so important to initially delete whichever one of these heroes.
he's really disconnected from the team. They don't have CTM as well, but again, going on the Wraith King, scary prospects. So they start and they stop as soon as they jumped in.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going for that maximum farm efficiency anymore, right? He's gone to 16 strength, doesn't care about all these skeletons spawning because, you know, you're against a Leshrac, you're against a Doom, you're against a Wyvern Splinter Blast. They're going to be able to get off these spells to deal with your skellies. Much rather just put it all into your own survivor.
Such an even game here as we head to the later stages. Roshan feels like that's what either team are waiting for, potentially up in a minute 13. Yumi, again, you see how far forward he's positioning. Okay, this time he's really split from the team.
Radiant's
They're up
middle
top by the
tower is
outposts,
under
whereas
attack.
he's down bottom farming.
Radiant's
to try and get
middle
connect.
tower has
Nighttime.
fallen.
Gotta get to the safety of your team. Yopaj would be even better if they were able to get onto him, but no. Don't get that chance. You've also got this wave kind of pushing in on the bot side. 35 minutes, so the double siege creeps are starting to spawn. So I wonder if Neon, with their, I would say they've got slightly superior split push, given that they've got the Wraith King, they've got the skeletons that can just march on down the lane. That ghost push, if you will. Ballsy though. Just walks into Wraith Fire Blast him and walks away.
It's the mental game right there. Who knows, maybe next time, instead of just a Wraith Fire Blast, it's a Burst Spike, the Una, Finger of Death. It's just keeping them on their toes, is Natsumi. Well, he's going to be kept on his toes here. They showed up top, so they're well aware there's no backup. First time taken away instantly, and they still have the Doom as well. Oh, what a blink. Natsumi's out of there.
Oh, they caught it!
Ryu, he ate the arrow! No, you don't want to keep your support alive, and Ryu's so important now with the backup as well, because Yopaj will tear apart his support. BKB has to be committed, and even better 3-man
Radiant's top
LSA.
tower is under attack.
Radiant, the damage has been dealt, and the creep wave is pushed in. You just highlighted the double catapult wave. They take your tier 2, that's all they want.
They're considering the fact that Roche might be up. Have to be careful here, Natsumi. 2.5 just yet.
Yep, Finger of Death versus even Laguna
Oh, the
Blade.
brace was used.
He's going to buy back. Take a look at how important this fight is. Buyback from Slaughter, recognizing this could change the game. We take this victory into Roche. Could give us a chance to make it to TIs. Natsumi is going to lose the reincarnation, but Yopaj is freely hitting on the high gun. Natsumi's still going to be careful. Needs to back up with the team again. The split on timing. And Ryu, he just pulled back. Rims out. We'll deal with Nico, but at least he's still able to use the ultimate before he dies. It's all Palace, though, tearing apart Neon lineup. So deal with Slaughter. That's a buyback. Down for 100 seconds.
Long ass Roche respawn though. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get anything out of it. Without this Doom being able to just run in and be this beast on the front lines, you're having to play a lot more scared. And you can see here, he's going to show on the top side. Could this prompt a response coming out from the Neon guys? I know it's a 3v4 situation, but we've seen before that they feel pretty confident even when they're down enough.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Feels like
He's
Neon,
got the blink dagger.
Natsumi?
I think he's trying to bait with this illusion. Yeah. Who's baiting who?
Gideon. Top high gun, Palos.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
That is another point
Flicker.
blank stun it.
The flicker for the lash. That's insane, actually. DD bottled over on Palos.
Oh my. They're actually gonna fight with this, Palos. He's on. Rim's still down. He's gonna get popped. It will protect him. He's actually stuck
This is
on
an
top
axe shard lash, remember. You want to make sure they're fighting around all these choke points, completely removing an area of initiation out of Neon's arsenal. 5 seconds on that Roche timer.
It's so unfortunate that it's a long Roche smoke. It's a little bit faster than you would have been able to use that dieback on the Slaughter, but unfortunately
Just
for
hit
them,
25.
auto strike cooldown, 2-second cooldown for your Wraith King. Highest level in the game. See how
Roche is
Natsumi
up.
Items, Shard, Cheese, and Ages is available from the second Roche and Execration. The first to scout this out. They've also got an incredible ward around the northern side of this Roche pit. So that high ground advantage. And how do you walk into the pit? Constant split burst is going to make it so difficult. He's even got the radius as well with the talent.
Got to get it onto the backline somehow. Do they even have a smoke or anything like that on Neon? I don't think they do.
Light out, go away. Ward. The wards are going to come through. Still, with the left track. Splitters are covering the pit heat arrow.
He's on the front.
Wraith King on the backline. Nico is
Divide and conquer.
on top of the Lena. It's a big target. But he doesn't give it to him. Look at the Lena turn. Figure of Death down. Now with the reincarnation, they're going to try and look the turn and fight this. A buyback coming through. Not going to have his ultimate for the second lap. But Ryu, he's caught out. The Splitters, they're layering the ground. Neon, they just can't get in the midst of it. Ayula's controlling up Genuel as well. They're going to lose 3 heroes here into the TP. Maybe. Oh, the nick of time stun will fall. Now you can take the second Roche of the game here.
Yeah, they're completely giving up on the Roche now on Neon. Natsumi TPing down to the bottom side, trying to push it out, create some distractions around the map. He's got a bloodthorn. That's how much this Wyvern is causing them issues in this game. He needs to make sure they're getting the silence, and they're just wiping him out instantly with the combination coming out there from Yopaj. He's tired of getting doomed. He's going into that Lincoln's.
You do see though, like even if it gets doomed, there was the same occasion that fight. Got doomed, but there was no one to jump and actually stop the Lena from right thing. So Yopaj's like, alright, you do me, but I do so much damage. As long as I have Fury Soul Stacks, I'm gonna stand my ground and try and right click you down.
Dire's top tower.
Like they're going to give this up. No, maybe not. They might be able to shove it out. It wouldn't be a top 4 decider unless it came down to the wire like this. Neon on the ropes. Execration, they can taste it. They can taste moving on to the next round, the semi-finals, if you will. Still feels like a mile away.
How... Are you a fan of the Aghanim Shard on the Doom? Or if it been a different target you would have preferred, or... Do you like this for Nico?
What else is there? I mean, open wounds on Lifestealer can be kind of nice. The slow, just for being able to kite around, particularly the Wraith King, is going to be good. Wyvern is okay. Mirana's is horrible. I never want to see Mirana get it until it's literally cannot go to anyone else. And even then, I would probably sell it, or I give it to Mirana.
I guess with that ag shot on the Doom now, I've been harping on kind of the stun lock and anyone following up with the Doom ulti. So now having just a little bit of extra stun, and you kind of have that old level death as well in there, working for the shard. So we'll see how that extra 0.6 seconds of stun is going to come into play, depending on the level.
Ties to the impurities.
I mean, they're just holed up inside their base. They realize they can't go anywhere right now on Neon. How's the buyback status looking like? Wraith King doesn't have it. Lena doesn't have it. Slaughter doesn't have it. Lion doesn't have it. Pos 5 Viper does. So, you know, big victory there.
Do it the methodical way. Bottom tier 2 tower. Last remaining outer tower here, OB Neon. Themselves are looking to try and get outside the base, maybe a little bit of outpost control, some waves as well. But you still have the top of the net worth here on the Wraith King. Lena shortly behind as well. High ground now under siege.
Get that puddle down, Slaughter. Coming from the backlines.
Gets rid of the Bloodthorn instantly. Opposed has to be careful of his positioning.
Nico is standing right next to RR, making sure he can save it if there's any kind of attempt to get it onto the backlines.
Are we looking like gem-wise too? I'm the only one with a gem. So, a bit of extra... Oh, Tsumi? I think they saw Leshrac actually TP out. It's instantly trying to connect back up with the team. Scans connect.
They'll know. Like, if they were looking on the minimap, they would have seen their creep wave disappear somehow, even though he's under the cover of the Moonlight Shadow. But still, I think they're just wanting to be patient. It's only a minute and a half away from this Aegis being reclaimed. So, tier 3 tower, yes, it's basically gone, but I feel like you don't want to be fighting into that double life. Satanic coming out next for Palos. Quite nice for him. It's gotten to the stage where, like, he's going to need to sell one of these other items soon. Of course, the Aegis is going to be reclaimed, but sell your phase boots, pick up something even better.
What do you feel like one of those items could be here that he's looking for?
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I mean, it could be great if he could get onto the backline somehow with like a swift blink. But I feel like a big part of their potential is standing near your way, so that in case he gets gone on, he's still got that infest power.
Feels like, I guess, if you want to jump on the back, just infest in a brother like Nico. But you can be that carrier instead, and instead, like, Missile Blade, almost.
I wonder if he would even consider going the Ag's Blessing, just because it, you know, reduces the infest cooldown to 20 seconds, increases the cast range by a lot, so that you can be a bit more of that backline menace.
Regeneration!
You're going to get to the stage where 8-1-9, 492 last hits, he is just, I think, out of control, and you're running out of slots. It's eventually going to get to the stage where I may as well buy Blessing, may as well buy Shard, why not?
Aegis reclaimed. They use the Moonlight Shadow, probably just to retreat, you would hope. Fake back going on.
Yopaj might walk underneath the Observe Ward that Radiant have in the Tinker position.
It's right there though.
Smoked up, straight into Nico. They find the target with Warsome. That's exactly what they need. With the help of Palace's damage, they'll kill off the Lena. Now she does have a buyback to rejoin them. But let's see what this is going to be able to provide them. It's a 18, getting control, actually turns. They won't have a winter wipe before the fight. But they deal with the reincarnation with the timing. No, nice BKB, Natsumi. He eats the arrow. And over the Bloodthorn down. Palace moves up instantly with the clutch. And really they control him. No life steal, and now no damage. As Yopaj back to life, shredding apart Yoway. Look at the machine gun go to work. Threw down on Execration, but it does cost them a couple of buybacks there, as Lena has to rejoin them to take that fight.
Oh boy, this is it. Like, it could go either way. Every single one of these team fights. Yes, it's a great initiation coming through, being able to focus him down, but give him space, and he is able to absolutely rip you apart. Cheats was used there as well, and it only bought the Leshrac about 2 seconds of extra life.
Now they're actually thinking of walking up the high ground
Dire's
here.
top tower is
Really
under attack.
fast.
He's going to TP top.
Is under
He's
attack.
35 seconds away from TPing. They'll get spooked because of this buyback, but buyback that was forced because the Doom wasn't there, wasn't able to actually join in and be part of that team fight.
Look at the net worth as well. Poor Ryu. My lord, he had such a laning stage, but this Slaughter just fell off a cliff. Like, the Mirana is actually keeping up in the net worth. We're just, unfortunately, you know, Tsunami brought up the factor of the late game Doom win percentage that he has at the moment in Dota, and the scaling potential that you have at the moment over Enryu is through the roof. Now, keep in mind that he's still going to provide some value with the Corrosive Haze. I wonder, and I think you need that shard though, because it feels like he's not getting many heroes caught with the Haze, so it really feels like his value right now is just get the ulti out and let the other heroes go to work.
Radiant
He's getting some decent crushes off, but yeah, like you can only hit so many people at a time, and we've had Yopaj be a little bit indecisive about what he wants to go. I was about to say he should probably sell that Yule Scepter. You know, you don't have buyback, you need to have something that's going to be a bit more impactful. And at this stage of the game, I don't think Yule Scepter is that one. He's gone the Shadow Blade into the Silver Edge, so he wants to have a little bit of that extra survivability. Not going to be great against Nico, who's got the gem already. I was kind of thinking maybe just an Aeon Disc. Like, sure, it ruins your right-click damage potential, but it feels like you need that extra form of escape coming out from the very beginning of the fight.
And you got to keep in mind, like, he just bought back as well, so that Aeon Disc offers another layer of protection. It's got Lincoln's. Is that going to be enough here? Also, Refresher on Doom. That's a scary prospect. Double Doom opportunities here.
Double Doom. So mid laners, no buyback. Wyvern, no buyback. So advantage Neon for now, with a relatively long Roche spawn again. They've been just wanting to keep us in suspense.
Spawning another 60-minute game. We up to 8 or 7 now here for the close.
7 so far.
7.
That's still a lot. That's a lot of late game Dota.
Crazy amount, yeah. You know, we were watching China here. Those games go way too late.
Imagine if T1 was playing as well. Probably some of the best late game Dota players in the world.
Their late game capability, the execution, just like them, EXECRATION and Neon are doing so well to be able to execute in these past couple of late game that we've seen so far in this series. And still looking to head that way as we're about to hit the 50-minute mark, and only 3,000 net worth lead for Radiant. Once again, it feels like it's all on this Roche fight. Something that we've seen through the entirety of the series. Previously, that Leshrac split earth was way too much for Neon to handle, just layering the ground and making it so difficult for you to position.
Yeah, for sure. Getting a bit lucky with this rune here, the illusion rune, going to be able to push out that bottom side of the map, make EXECRATION perhaps second guess themselves, but
is he able to jump? Smoke pops onto the backline. They haven't found the Lena though, so they have to try and
to the puddle.
He's just running to the opposite direction from BKBs. They popped the Raid Fire Blast. Boom still has that second round the ultimate to utilize here. They caught up the Lena. Nico, he's cancelling the blink with the Radiance. The Lotus Orb is out. They're going to be able to protect Yopaj, and now Natsumi's still pushing them further and further away. Reincarnation's being popped. He's still got the BKB for the second life as well.
Arrow.
Holding the high ground, arrows on the mark, and Ryu's back to join him. No, the Leshrac to the high ground, finger of death. What a curse! Flick it down. He's gonna make it back up. That's a dieback. Natsumi falls as well. What a curse! He's able to rejoin them. They need a reset. Neon, cut your losses and get out of the area. Zhao trying to stalk and get away, but the Trickster Cloak is not enough.
Time for Roche to be back up and running, but you've still got a Doom available. This is the power of that late game Doom potential as he picks up the gem. Gonna walk on back in. Both, no, just the refresher. Damn, it feels like this game has been going on for a lot longer than it has.
There is some crazy win condition opportunities now for Execration. Only
To the impurities.
Lion has buyback here. CTM is got a blink, got a force, the 8th lens as well, but we saw Natsumi had to buy back there, and Ryu had to buy back, Januel had to buy back, and now you're going up against the Aegis on Carlos, Cheese as well. I'm trying to see who's got that. Jeez. Backpack on the Life Stealer, and the Refresher Shard. Who other than the Doom to hold?
You're forgetting about the most important item of all, the Wind Waker on EDC. Done his job of pushing in this top lane somewhat, and of course we've got a level 27 EOA, so those diabolic explosions are just going to melt these barracks. I don't know about that one.
Top barracks are
They want to
under
fight
attack.
before Enryu. I think you have to give up this top set of racks, especially how do you commit Split Earth like that? Maybe you go for a mass smoke wraparound as points out. Damage.
No Wind Waker.
Oh no, it's so hard to commit. You got Caught Embrace save, potentially an Infest save, Wind Waker save now. So difficult. But Neon, they're all back alive, and with bot pushed in with the catapult wave, they're gonna have to reset and choose a different angle.
They can do this. You know. Yeah, just get the TD and go forward, you know. It's just really one wave that you have to concern yourself with. That's me, he's level 28, so has a little bit of that extra skeleton attack damage. Not going to be impactful so far. He has finished up that nullifier though. He bought back previously. He's backpacked his Radiance.
Radiance, no boots.
I mean, you're just going to switch out the Blink Dagger after you blink on him.
Instant war stop with the Ring Pop as well. They've used them in the first life with the Reincarnation. Just force away. Does have the Refresher. He actually popped the Refresher Orb, just still has the Shard available. So 2 more rounds of the Dooms. Here for Nico. Full set of racks claim bot, and the last set is mid. Potentially be going up against Megas if Execration stick around. A layer their onslaught with the Split Earth, just making it so difficult to get the jump.
Henry's going for the back line. Who can he catch? Finally get this Wyvern.
God, how do they start? Jump in, Natsumi. So that's Reincarnation with the Dooms out. They've been able to catch out the leader, but the double force stuff needs to get back to safety with the War Stop.
They got